Shit.
Okay, 10 million. I'm on 11K. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's baby steps.
I mean, yeah, baby steps. We getting there. We getting there. What's up, chat? Yeah, don't check your time. It's 1 o'clock. It's a special time, start time. Yeah, you don't have to check that clock. Yeah, yeah. We went live earlier. You know, the other things are happening later on in the day that I need to be a part of. So I think Logic blew that up on a tweet. But yeah,
Yeah, we're
one
definitely
o'clock.
blaming you for that. I mean, I'm going to B Dubs, so I don't know. I got plans.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to B Dubs.
Oh shit!
So I
Oh,
don't.
I'm catching flight. Oh
Yeah, man.
man.
I'm going.
See,
I'm getting some
I'm
getting
just
some
chilling.
wings.
I'm just chilling in the living room with my son. No Niner gear on, but hopefully
Yeah.
I wish we did, but we're gonna chill in the living room watching in good faith cheer on the Niners to beat on the Philadelphia Eagles. Gonna be a good game. Gonna be a good game.
Noise. Yeah, no, it should
Evenly
be dope.
keel.
It should be a good day of football for sure
Mm-hmm.
with these teams.
Hopefully KC wins that match, or since he doesn't matter. But if KC wins it and the Niners win tonight, it's a rematch of forgot what Super Bowl it was, like 2-3 years ago when the Niners went to Super Bowl a while ago. They played KC and they lost. They got blown out. But
Was that the old stadium?
I believe that was before this one. Yeah,
No, it was
before
before
the
they were
stadium
in the
there
new
now.
stadium. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was
What
a
up?
while, but
Yeah.
at
So,
Mahomes, that was like debut type shit. So it'll be
absolutely.
all right.
Say what up to Shizno in the chat, Turpin in the chat, Dimber in the chat. Join early. Yeah.
I'm still asking Turpin, what is he getting? He says, "Let's get it." What are you getting?
No, no, no.
I don't know what
Like,
you're getting.
let's no, don't do that. Don't do.
We're
We're getting it as he
getting
responds.
it.
It. Sorry,
Input whatever you have in your
me
We get
before
that.
he hit me up this morning like a little bit, like it was like 11, right, 10:30. He was like, oh, let's get some gaming in. I was like, all right, cool, we're running the pot, because I didn't tell him we were running the pot early today. So I was
Okay,
like,
okay.
yeah, I got the pot at 1, but I was like, I'm down to get a couple of games in.
Oh,
By
he was probably
couple,
confused as fuck.
well, no, by couple, I guess that was 2, because the fucking teammates that we were getting, and it's literally just sometimes playing this game on the weekend, it really just like
Yeah,
it does things.
it does things to you. Yeah,
It's just like, why it, like, you just question, it's like, why did I bother, like, why did I log in today? Oh yeah, that's right, because I actually somewhat enjoy this game from time to time. Just today wasn't the day.
yeah.
It's like when they say, like, Sunday you should take Sunday to like rest, right? Got, on the seventh day, like that's
On the seventh
literally,
day, yeah,
yeah, like that might actually be a fucking thing with League, because oh my god, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, joy. Yeah.
Listen, I put up this guy was so confused, like real confused in the comments. I put up a short, highlighting our last week's pod on I think Monday or Tuesday. I
Yeah.
put it 2 days in a row. I forgot what day it was though. Where we had League of Legends floating on the screen, and like the clip I put up was the COD conversation,
Yes.
and I had somebody in the comments confused as hell.
Oh,
He
well.
was like, "Wait, I don't get it. Why is Leagues on and y'all talking about COD?" I'm like, "Tell me you've never watched a podcast
'Cause we can
without
bump.
telling me you've never watched a podcast."
All right, I'm talking about COD right now, and Hi-Fi fucking Rush is splashed on the screen. So
Right.
for those YouTube viewers there, and if you're an audio listener, you don't even know what the fuck we're showing, so it doesn't matter. How about that one?
I was like, yeah, I went in on an explanation, like, oh, it's a pod, gaming pod. We so happen to be talking about the COD portion of it right there.
Right.
But normally we run splashes in the background so that something could be on the screen. And he replied, "Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah, it's like,
if you do, hit the sub, please.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah, do you really get it? But it's okay, because you don't need to get it. You just need to know that's what we do, guys.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. So how was your week?
Man, good week highlighted, but obviously what we can be talking about
Obviously.
today. Rec.
Yes.
And this game on the screen that's playing Hi-Fi Rush. Good week on that, man. We'll have our thoughts on that in the show. But yeah, I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush.
Yep.
More Warzone. I finally got a duos partner, Money.
Nice.
Shout out to Money.
Let's go, Money.
Yeah, I got him back around in the game. Got him off of Battlefield.
Got him off of Battlefield.
Just a little bit,
right when they put the best fucking update that the game's seen since it launched. This is literally the best update. It's like, oh, we just added classes back to Battlefield. It's like, oh, hey, Money, you want to come play fucking Call of Duty?
It's like Money's like, have you been like testing out like partners so you can like have somebody to play with and stream with? I'm like, kinda. because I had one of my Twitter followers, like I follow this guy Brandino.
Yeah.
Played with him. We had a good time. A couple hours of Warzone duos. Then I think his buddy had. It was just me and him. No, it was just me and him. And we played duos, and we had some fun with it. And then Buddy's like, you know what? I think between you and me, Logic, I think Buddy got jealous. I think he got jealous.
I mean,
like, I want to play some Warzone.
I mean, I'm fucking here too, but I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you know me. I'm always offline. Hit me up. Don't hit me up. It's whatever.
I know.
But it's like I'm enjoying myself playing. Literally, this is not even a meme or nothing. I'm enjoying solo on that damn thing. Yeah, I don't know what it is about solos. It's like it's more competitive. I guess it feels more. It's just me, you know. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, I can't blame nobody else. I'm down. No, I'm down because I'm down. Not because somebody else not helping me.
Yep,
you know.
I gotcha.
It was good, but we playing duels with money. We had some great games last night. At a couple of games in a row, we had 15 combined kills, 20 combined kills. But we keep getting hit by the damn storm campers, man. I just getting tired of these storm campers who literally hug the storm.
Because gas masks make you invincible, basically.
Oh my god, do they ever?
Are they? I was gonna say that update though. Aren't they gonna limit like how much shit you could have? Like you can't stack.
Not limit. You just can't have only one. You can't stack at all.
You can't. Right. You can't stack the backpack's on, so you're not gonna be able to stack the gas masks. You're not gonna be able to stack self revives. That's another thing too.
That's another thing.
I thought it was wild that you could literally just have like 4 self revives. I think that's insane.
It's from, if you remember Warzone 1, you could stack on syringes, which was a good thing to have back in 1.
Yeah.
And this one is kind of irrelevant now. But now it's stacking revives. I'm like, it's not just revives, but the syringe, or what do you call it?
The stims.
The ones that you can shoot the teammates with so they can get up.
Oh, that's the field upgrade one.
Yeah, well, you could use that. Yes, that one. You could use that on yourself too.
Yes.
You could use So it's like you stack on all that. I've seen a video where a guy just literally stacked. He had a large backpack and stacked those two things right there: gas mask, 3 gold gas masks, and a bunch of self revives. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's wild.
And he wins the mask because he just stood in the damn gas. I'm like, this is not it. Oh, and by the way, there's an ugly glitch, I guess you'd call it, where people are going into the walls now. And they're shooting you from the walls.
Well, I saw another clip that you posted up too that you had. I think it was a short that you did, but all the things were all.
Oh, you mean modern Claymore or modern Clayfair?
You know what that reminded me of? It's a couple of things, and I know I've said this before on a previous podcast, but the first thing it reminded me of is when PUBG first launched on Xbox. That was the first thing where nothing was loading in, and it was like, and see what you guys just try to take a PC game and launch that shit on a fucking console, and haha, joke's on you.
Exactly that.
Right now,
it was ugly.
Initially, or even going back to like old school, you'd have to go back to like even 360 days and shit, where it's just like just can't populate the fucking textures, like literally, like you're running around.
Assets are like
modern,
missing.
like Battlefield Modern Combat for like you know what I mean, like Modern Combat. Come on, man. Just because we didn't have Battlefield 2, but it's like, so we got like the cheap versions of like Battlefield back then.
That's exactly what it was.
It was a dumbed down version.
I'm like, what is this shit?
Yeah,
like,
man.
What am I looking at right now? It was wild. I'm like, all right, whatever. Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You know how we always do.
Yeah, you got to chalk it up. It's like, all right, I guess.
Call of Duty, another one for the board. Like we do that shit for every game now. Every game that has like an issue, Call of Duty.
But listen, it's like you said, there's a lot of things coming in that September 15th update, that season 2. So that should be
a lot, man.
It's a lot.
A lot of meaty stuff there. I don't know how I feel about the loot going on the floor thing. I think I enjoyed that in part 1. It's just one of those things was like, I hope it's not down the middle type stuff like it was in part 1. I hope they kind of fixed that a little bit to like as far as organization.
I feel
goes.
like you could have made like, it's like I don't want to say be like Apex, but I feel like you could have just like it's okay. Listen, good. What do they say? How's the saying go? Or it could have been a joke, and this might not even be true, but it's like, oh, good writers borrow, great writers steal outright. It's like, no, I don't want you to steal, but it's like, you see what like Apex does with their looting system. Their looting system's pretty dope. And you have to go into a box or a quote unquote backpack, and you get to scroll up and down. But the fluidity of it and stuff like that, where it's like you click in, click out, make it where you could have, if you get shot, you get kicked out of it, or
see, that's like, the problem with this model. It's that they slowed it down so much.
That's true too.
Into a box, dangerous. It's like one of those things. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten shot while I'm looting, and excuse me.
No, you're good.
While I'm looting in a box because I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, I gotta grab that, and then not only that, but the looting out in the world is kind of difficult because It'll pick up shields on its own. It won't pick up shields on its own. And then you got to spam that. And then they have the shields on these little bookshelves where you got to crouch and look at the plate to
Yep.
grab it. Like, oh, what is going on here? It's like, it's this update looks pretty good. I like a lot of the stuff I'm seeing in there. Plating up while bashing through doors is going to be a thing now. They add a little bit more speed when you're plating up. You're moving a little quicker. So that's also a plus. I'm still stuck on that whole thing, man. I think the reason that they slowed it down so much is to introduce these older maps when they bring them back into the fold from the original Modern Warfare games or even Ghost. I just think they did that on purpose to fit that speed right, so that those maps feel right when you play them.
Yeah.
Because just imagine this speed on Overgrown. This is the speed we used to have on those Call of Duties, the Overgrown.
Yeah, but you imagine crouch sliding, and I was gonna say like slide canceling and stuff like around Overgrown and those maps don't play the same way, you know.
Don't play the same way.
Yeah,
no.
So not to say
that's a bad thing. They brought Terminal to Infinite Warfare, and they had jetpacks, and it just didn't feel right. It's like,
man, Black Ops 3. Remember when they remade Nuketown for Black Ops 3, because they had it?
Yeah.
They literally had to change the Black Ops. They had to change Nuketown because
Nuketown was
you could run on walls. So what did they do?
Right.
They added all of these sections of the map that you could literally run around and do. Like at least they incorporated the game mechanics into the map design and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
that's true. That's true. But that's we'll get those classic maps and hopefully they get it right and everything. But
yeah,
let's see, man. The next season is in 15th. Long ass fucking season, man.
Yeah, it's like 17 days away.
Holy shit, I can't. I mean, oh, and by the way, I think I converted more into the Warzone type stuff because I was playing. We ended up playing with Reckless, me, Money. I forgot who else joined in. It was 4 of us. We ended up playing regular multiplayer.
Nice.
And it felt. I was like, I don't know how to play this. Like, I was kind of bored. I'm like, I don't know how to play it. I want to play.
Yeah,
Warzone.
you'd rather play Warzone versus like playing regular multiplayer.
I didn't think I would ever say that shit. Like, I want to play the.
But just because just playing multiplayer and having to deal with shit like skill-based matchmaking is ridiculous. But that's a whole other discussion and topic. But listen, once they add back normal hardcore mode, I think that might change a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So playing more Warzone, played Hi-Fi, and I ended up playing Signalis, which is a game on Game Pass that everybody's talking about. And I was like, let me play this game. Ended up playing that, finished it. That's about the hot, like, as far as gaming, that's about the highlight of the week. And then my Niners, obviously watching that. We didn't talk about this last week, but the Last of Us series,
man,
is a fire series, man. I don't know if you enjoyed it or watching it.
I've been, I'm caught up. I'm getting people into it, trying to explain people that haven't played the game, and I haven't.
Where it's like, yo, you gotta watch this.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, man. Gotta check it out. Even if you didn't play the video game, watch it. And if you know people that play the video game, fucking avoid them because they're gonna want to spoil that shit for you, and you're gonna be.
Cousin of mine called me up or text me saying, "Hey, man, this show's on. I never played the game," and I was like, "I know this. You're not a PlayStation guy." He goes, "No, it's not that. I just didn't play the game."
Right.
But should I watch the show? I got a PlayStation now. Should I watch the show or play the game? And I'm like, watch the show.
I think I would say watch the show. But now at this point, if you haven't done either, I would definitely say watch the show first before playing the game. Absolutely.
That's what I said. I say go watch the show. And I think the show will get you more interested in going, yo, I gotta play the game.
Yeah.
And when you play the game, you're like, you're gonna appreciate the game more. You're like, oh, I remember this.
Yep.
I remember
exactly.
that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because he was like, but isn't the show verbatim? I'm like, like they highlight the cutscenes in the game in the show, but there are scenes in it that's not part.
There are certain scenes that are shot for shot, but there are certain things that creative liberties that they had to take to make it translate to TV versus the video game. Like Spores just weren't going to translate properly. You know, like
a lot of people got upset about that, but
Fedra chasing them for episode. I don't want to spoil, but Fedra chasing them in episode 2 versus like Infected. That wasn't like, you know what I mean. They had it, and they're gonna take. There's gonna be other liberties.
The ways whatever happened. I'm not gonna spoil that part. But what happened to Tessa is different from the game.
That's what I mean. So it's like, so they're gonna take certain liberties to make sure that it can translate. The story translates to TV, to a TV audience. But I don't think the liberties are a disservice to the game itself. So, in my opinion, and that's only and once again, 2 episodes in. There's still, I think, 7 episodes to go. 7 or 8 episodes.
2 episodes in, I'm so hooked, man. Yeah, I highly enjoyed the second one. I loved both episodes. The second one was like on a different level.
Yeah.
And by the way, Neil Druckmann is the one that did directed the second.
Yeah, he directed the second one.
I didn't know that.
He's also
Yeah. I was like, this is really faithful, like a real faithful episode to the game.
Yeah.
And I look at the credits, I'm like, oh, Neil did this one. Oh, that makes
Well,
sense.
you see what could happen when you go directly to the people that made the source material and say, "Hey, you want to do a TV show?" And they say, "Yeah, why not?" I mean, wow, who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought? Use source material for a well-loved franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Who would
How
have
did that
thought?
work out? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
And then now they approved season 2.
yeah,
Looks like they're gonna go with part 2 on season 2. That's gonna be interesting. Very interesting. See how they play that out because their star of the show is a money. He draws views. The one playing Joel. It's like
yeah. No, well, we'll see what happens. Obviously,
let's see what
with like
happens.
I said, they're
Yeah.
taking certain liberties. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. So that's dope. No, it sounds like you had a pretty good week. I mean,
Pretty
mine
good
was
week.
pretty
Pretty good
dope.
week.
Yeah, I mean, gaming wise, it was the same thing. Look forward to the direct, which we'll talk about on Wednesday. Watch that live. That was pretty dope. Obviously, some surprises came with that too. So we'll talk about that. And then just, a lot of gaming for me. It was mostly the League of Legends, Tarkov. Tarkov, they did some crazy fucking updates in Tarkov this week, man. They literally like reverted. I wouldn't say reverted, but the way the game played back in like 2018 is not the way the game played now, just because of like how much of like a heavy mil sim RPG type game it is.
Okay.
So it's like they did a lot of things to like weight and stamina and stuff like that, and even like gun recoil and stuff. Like it's not really as realistic like as you would think, even though it is. Like people are like, oh, it's the most realistic like mil sim game. Like it is to a certain extent, but from the survival standpoint, but also still, it varies and stuff. So they did a lot of changes this week, and it was like, I wouldn't even say it's quality of life changes, but it's just like a lot of people, and some streamers as well too, were like, if you just change some of this shit here, like we would like love you, and just being able to
I
wear
love you
like,
again.
yeah, being able to like wear high level armor and not lose all of your stamina, being able to like take a shot in the arm or something like that, like if you get shot by one round or whatever, you don't lose a third of your stamina bar, because it was stuff like that, like where if you started getting shot at, you couldn't even like run to cover or stuff because it would reduce your stamina completely. Or in the realm of like you're a trained paramilitary like person, right, and that's like the lore, but yet you
Mm-hmm.
like just run out of breath after sprinting for 10 seconds, like
Okay.
without it with having an empty backpack. So like they reverted like a lot of different stuff, and there's just I've been having so much fun playing it this week as well too, making some money, just questing and stuff, and just yeah, man, just grinding a lot of that. I'm trying to think. I didn't play pretty much any Call of Duty. I think I'm waiting for February update to play Call of Duty. I think that's kind of like where I'm at with that.
Yeah, if it
Because
wasn't for Warzone, I would. That's
that's
what
what
I
I
was
mean.
at. If
Like,
it
I
wasn't
wouldn't
for
mind jumping into Warzone, but I think like from a multiplayer, I think I'm waiting because I'm just gonna spam hardcore and like gun camos and all that stuff
Oh,
when the
that's
update
bad.
happens.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that to get back in. My dad's been playing, he's been kicking ass.
People's been asking what's the difference between tier 1 and hardcore, which is it's. At first, I was like, "What is the difference?" I was like, "No, there's a big difference
Yeah,
because tier 1 is just realism. Realism. It's all
yeah,
it was. If you remember, we spoke about this. Remember 2018 Modern Warfare? Realism was part of the night maps, the
yep,
night goggle maps, which is horrible. They try to do it twice, and twice it was like the community's like, "Nah, that's hard. No, just
yeah,
pass, take it out." But that's what it really is. It's really, it's just no HUD. That's all it is. There's no difference between core and tier 1 except for there's no HUD.
yep,
Hardcore is literally it's faster TTK. Like you're gonna get shot and die. You get sparingly, you get hit markers, but not as heavy as you do on tier 1. Tier 1 just felt like hit markers were everywhere. It just felt like core. It felt like core.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so I'm definitely excited for the hardcore mode to finally be back for Call of Duty. I should have been there the whole time, but
Should have been
that's
the whole damn time. Yeah.
but yeah, man. And then I'm just trying to think any other gaming and stuff like, and yeah, no,
I
just
wanted to
doing.
ask you.
Oh yeah,
I
what's
wanted
up?
to ask you. Destiny 2. What's going on with that? Like I've
No,
been
just
seeing a lot
it's
of
kind of
chatter.
like, oh, so there was I'm trying to think back to like when well the game they did an update. I think this was like last week, I believe. It could have been last week. I get my days confused a little, but they had an update that came out. It could have been this past Tuesday, right? This Tuesday that just passed. That was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to patch out blues, like dropping once you reach I believe hard cap. So like
Engrams.
you would get no more blue Ingrams. Yeah, like literally, like
Okay.
you would just get whatever associated glimmer or
Well, you mean
materials.
like when I was always capped out and there was those blue
And you
engrams
would still get
dropping, like
blues to drop, and you're like, oh, and then it just more fill up your inventory, fill up your postmaster, and you'd have to,
yeah,
you
okay,
know, all of that stuff. So they basically they wrote it in. Now when they released the patch, what it ended up happening was there was like a line of code in there. And this is why game development is just fucking weird and difficult, especially when you're talking about a live service game as well too. That's been going on for the better part of 5 years at this point. Um, it started taking away people's triumphs and like so which are basically
what?
the Destiny's a version of achievements. So like if you like did like
No,
some
I know.
really
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Okay,
if you did
okay.
like some really challenging shit and you had like the badge for it and you like did a seal and stuff, like people were losing their seals for like Curse Breaker, and that's another thing. They were losing their records for content that's no longer available
Oh,
in the game that you technically can't go back and get. So
oh.
essentially, what they had to do, so they took down. They didn't just take down like they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna temporarily go. They took down the game basically for like a day.
That part, because I
Yeah,
hit
they
you up and
literally.
it's like, yo, we were talking about this. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
is Destiny down right now?
yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
no, they literally doing maintenance on it,
Yeah,
and it was
doing
like over
maintenance.
a
Yeah,
day.
the maintenance lasted pretty much for the day. So they had to take down. They reverted
Jesus.
back, and then what ended up happening was which was understandable. From the time right before the update came out, I think so for like 3 or 4 hours they rolled back to like a previous instance. So anything that you did in like a span of like it was like 3 hours or 4 hours, you would have lost. So like if you got like and it was on reset day. So like if you went in and did your resets and you ended up getting an exotic or you got some really cool armor or you did whatever you did within that 3 hour span because there are people that do that. They wait for reset day and they go out and they get their pinnacles and they do their grinding and stuff. You lost all of that.
You
You
plan
know,
you plan your day on that, yeah.
right? So you would have lost that, but it was only 3 hours worth of time versus the game being screwed up and you would have lost stuff that you achieved 3.5 years ago. I'll take the 3 hours over the
I
losing
can't
shit from
remember
three
a
and a half
time
years
that
ago.
happened in Destiny in the past.
No,
Like I
but
don't.
it's spaghetti code. I mean, I'm not going to call it spaghetti code, but it's just this is just what happens when you try to, you tinkle a little bit over here and you try to do something and then you don't check what's going on over here and this is live service shit.
Blame it on the new guy. Like, what are you doing, bro?
I don't
We
know,
just hired
and
you.
and that's the thing. You don't know. I don't know how much more of Bungie and like their live service team. Like I understand they have a live service team and stuff. I don't know how many people are devoted to each individual part of Destiny 2 because you figure with the new expansion coming out, like Lightfall, how many with the team that was working on that, whatever the hell they're doing and working on now in the future, and then whatever the hell they're doing continuing with like Destiny as well too, outside of like Lightfall, like outside of the expansion, the continuation of Destiny, after Lightfall, which is Final Shape. So like there's which they're already like definitely working on. Like you know what I mean? So
Oh,
it's like
definitely, yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to pretend to speak for them and know what's going on over there, but it's like yeah, like this is like an all hands on deck thing when, the server screwed up and they're
I would
like
imagine, yeah.
yeah, exactly. But they
I
got it
mean, it's one
they
of
got
those
it
things where it's like
rectified.
the game's been around for a while, so it's like coding ain't easy, man. You got to. It's a balance. You got to figure out the
Yeah.
stuff that's working, the stuff that's not working, implementing new stuff,
And it's
and it's
layering
light
too. You
for
got to
it's
figure
light for
you're
expansion. It's
constantly
not,
dude,
it's not a light.
yeah.
No pun intended. It's not a light content. This is like literally
Yeah.
a brand new, not just an expansion, but setting for them. It's like a whole. I
Well,
think they said they took inspiration from. I forgot what movie it was they were talking about where they took inspiration. Tron, I believe they said, or with the
yeah, a little bit
colors
of
and
like
everything.
yeah, a little bit of that. It's definitely kind of like synth wavy kind of like ideas, and
Yes.
yeah, that's gonna come across. But the biggest thing as well too is like you've been developing on this game. The engine is starting to show. Like there's certain things about the game that are starting to
Yeah.
show out where it's like we only have 2 more years left of this iteration of this game, and then we'll see
True.
what they do going forward. But there's supposedly even after the final shape, which is the last expansion for Destiny 2, from what we know for this saga, for the light, for the light
Yeah, for
saga, light
this
and dark
light thing,
saga,
yeah.
it's like when Star Wars said we're ending the Skywalker saga, right, with 7, 8, and 9. Like that's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
this Skywalker saga. But don't worry, Star Wars isn't going anywhere. It's basically like the final shape is pretty much like the end of their saga, and then don't worry, Destiny's not going anywhere. It's just we don't know what's coming next after that. You know what I mean?
Correct,
So
correct.
it'll be interesting to say. But yeah,
What engine
so
they
they've been
still
going through
using?
it.
I forgot what it what engine?
They're
Remind me
all,
what
it's
engine
like
they're
a
using?
forked, they call it the Tiger engine, but it's loosely
Okay.
based off of the engine that they started using and they were developing on when they were working on Reach. So it's
Ooh,
like,
okay.
and then
Damn.
it's still updated and stuff like that. So, oh, what's up, 100? So,
Good
but they've been
morning.
working on it updated. Like Destiny 2, I think they definitely updated for it. Like Destiny 2, I mean, quick, it's not like we don't have Google. We can just search this shit. Uh, let's see. Yeah, it's an in-house proprietary engine that they're saying. Yeah, it's Tiger Engine. That's
Tiger Engine.
it's
Okay. So
modified. Yeah,
it's
it's
showing
modified.
it's showing his age.
Yeah, modified Blam. So it's just, and then we got to see because that's another thing. 2017, it's like we know how shit changes and stuff like that. You made this game Destiny 2 in 2017 to work on, and that was last gen as well too. And then you did updates and stuff to make it like work and compatible with. But the problem is it's not taking full. I mean, it is taking advantage of like Xbox Series X and PS5 and stuff. But in PC, it's still you don't really have to worry about it because it just kind of like it just works for PC, right? But it'll be
Right, right.
interesting to see what they do going forward after the last expansion.
You think they go with
I
a
think
more
they got
updated,
an
modified Tiger or a
updated.
brand new engine?
I'm hoping it's a new engine, but not too much. But remember, this engine too allows them to get, and you go across the board, you still say, and people still tell you this, even 5 years into Destiny 2, that Destiny 2 still has some of the best shooting mechanics that they've ever seen in a first-person shooter.
Definitely.
Period.
Definitely.
Full stop. Like full stop. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and so because remember, you're still talking about the
The
people that made the
movement, the
original, yeah,
shooting.
movement, the
Yeah.
shooting, and stuff like that, and they make all of that shit fun to play. And then it's just a matter of how does that translate going forward after they complete the story and stuff, and how do they make the next iteration of whatever Destiny's going to be interesting for current fans and new fans.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I was just interested. I'm like, I gotta, because it's your
Yeah,
game. So I'm like,
that's me. Yeah, that's me all
you're
around,
the
man.
resident Destiny guy. So I'm like, I'm looking. I'm going. I gotta ask Logic what's going on there because I've seen the chatter on Twitter. But I didn't know exactly. I didn't dive into it like that. So I was like, what's going on? Like, are they
Yeah.
really off live for a whole day? Like people like irate. They're like, yo, my stuff is not there. What's going on with my challenges and my stats are disappearing? I'm like, what? Like that's happening? But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man, that's the development world, man. It ain't easy, man. A lot of people think this is like, I know the memes and everything is cut and paste, but nah, man, it's not that easy. It's coding, man. This stuff has to work with each other.
Work.
Maybe a new line of because they're doing like the Lightfall content. Maybe a new line of strings of code got introduced that kind of was like, nah, we don't like this, and the game kind of like rejected it. It could be anything. It's like, no, we don't
Game
like
is what is this bullshit? Excuse me.
What is this?
Yeah.
I don't want that. I'm joking.
I only take AAA live service code. What is this?
Yeah, how to
nonsense?
take AAA? Yeah.
What is this bullshit? What is this single A indie nonsense?
Indie nonsense. Yeah, man. Yeah. So sounds good.
That's
good.
funny. But yeah, man, that was pretty much the week, man. So
okay.
just excited to get into the topics and stuff like that. If you want to shout out the chat again real quick, everybody that's in here right now, and go for that.
Right, we did that. Timber, what's up? He's always here every week. I appreciate your support, man. 100 just joined in. He said morning. I said good morning, sunshine. Shinzo Lee, I know you had to do something. So thank him for coming in and saying hello. And then whoever's in whoever listens on the VOD, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. And whoever's lurking, we are
lurkers, audio. What's up?
Oh, you guys and ladies and gentlemen.
First time listeners, last time listeners. What's up, man?
Last time listeners. Hopefully not last time.
No, I take that from Joe. That's a JPP thing. I'm stealing.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. First time, last time, whatever. If you hear, you rock with us, cool. If you don't like it,
For my Royal Rumble listeners, you had a couple of non-wrestling fans. Well, I won't say non-wrestling fans, but a couple of wrestling fans hasn't watched it in a while. Actually, watched it last night. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Wild. Logan Paul. Very wild.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
It's a good night. I kind of tweeted out Royal. I didn't put a date on it, but I thought it was today Royal Rumble, and I didn't realize it was yesterday. And I was like, wait a minute, it's on now. And I was like, oh, Peacock. And then Peacock was on there. Which we mentioned before we went live, that Peacock does run these pay-per-views, but not like traditionally where you have to go and buy it.
Yeah, literally, it's just included. Yeah, because Peacock bought the WWE network. That was their streaming service.
Yeah, I used to have that. Yeah. And that was a pretty cool concept. Just when the pay-per-view was on, just on the app, it's there. It's like no buying $80 pay-per-views. Those days.
Yep.
All right, man. So a little thing happened this week.
Yeah, small little thing.
That's a little small thing. The Xbox developers did I say right? Developers Direct show happened this week. before we get into what was shown, I want to ask, how did you like this format?
I love it because I love when Nintendo does it. And I'm not the biggest, like, my brother has a Switch and stuff like that, but I think, like, on a smaller scale, having more focus on individual titles, like titles that and we talked about this, I think, before this came out. We talked about this last week. We talked about this previously, but having the ability to focus and highlight individual topics when like you're ready to talk about them, like, hey, we've gotten to a point now in X game that we can now share with you where we're at in that game and what we're hoping for you to experience in the game and all the cool stuff that we've been working on versus like a quick little 2 minute, 3 minute trailer gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, just what we've been accustomed at, like the E3s or random and stuff like that. So I
Yep.
really appreciated this format. Honestly, I
Likewise.
think a lot of people, if you just look across the board, even outside of like Xbox fans in general, I think just people from a gaming perspective looking at it, I think they also appreciated the format as well too. It was pretty in depth as well. I don't think it was boring in any way. I think they were able to they kept me interested even for games and titles that I might not have been necessarily interested in. I think right here too, that was also another big thing as well, which I'm showing on the screen now. It's like the beginning of the stream, but right from jump, it literally was like, oh yeah, we're showing 4 games, and then they wipe off the 4, and it's like, I'm sorry,
Yeah. 5.
games, and you're like, all right, cool. So we're already getting a surprise. You know what I mean?
Set your
Yeah.
expectations.
So it's like, and then, but and here's another thing too. So it's like, and I'm just from an overview standpoint. We talked about initially. It was like, oh,
Dad's in
because
the chat.
oh, oh, what's up, Pop? We talked
Yeah.
about this initially, like talking about if they're gonna do something like this monthly, or like I know we said like they were gonna highlight individual games and stuff. But the big thing that my takeaway is, because I think a lot of people came out from Microsoft, I think Phil came out and basically said like, okay, we did this, and then we're gonna have some other games. Starfield's getting their own individual stuff, but and then we'll see you again at E3. So I don't think we're getting a level of this every month. This might be like a quarterly thing, which I think is fine too,
And
or
that's
just when
fine.
they
Yeah.
have a block of games that they're ready to show you. But you can imagine after seeing this, the production and stuff that went in to making something like this. Like, they didn't just slap this together overnight. They had cameras set up at the individual gaming studios, getting these people time away from what they're doing,
Oh, this
working
is
on the
tons of
game.
footage.
Like,
Tons of
that's what I
footage.
mean. Like, the actual getting the game footage, getting everybody the interviews in to explain the games, explain what's going on and stuff like that. There was a lot going on. So it was definitely highly produced as well too. It wasn't just like, let's throw something on the board and see what sticks. It's like, no, like, they put their time into putting this together for the individual titles that they show here. And with that level of quality, so I'd want them to continue that. And if that means not giving us one of these every month, every other month, that's fine too. But as long as it's up to this level of, like, production, I wouldn't mind it being every couple of months, to be honest.
I agree. For me, I'm a big fan of Vidocs, so this to me
Yeah.
felt like multiple studios putting Vidocs together. But then the presentation on how they put it together and how they highlighted them. I'm an office, like I'm that guy that I used to work in the office. It's just like that kind of a setting right there, and I highly enjoy seeing what like the office setting and their workspace and how they're
Hmm.
doing their job and they're going about their day, and then putting it on video and how excited they were about talking you can tell, I can tell at least, how when somebody's just reading off of a script and just doing it because it's part of their job versus we love what we're doing and we want to, and the passion shows in their facial expressions that they can't control. And a lot of the developers that was on in these cameras where they showed off for different games, I saw that, I felt that, and it just felt like genuine. Yo, we're proud of this, and we want to show it off today to you guys. It was the perfect time. I think it was like 43 minutes runtime, something like that. Perfect, like the perfect like pacing.
Right.
um the talking over the video. There was no actors, no glitz, no glamour, none of this brouhaha where they show like glitz and glamour of different things. This was lit, and obviously there was no catapult, which is important. There was no catapult there like they did a couple of years ago. But this wasn't your typical show, blowout showcase, your
Yeah. No.
summer showcase, and I enjoy this. Now I do hope they stick to this kind of format because again, I'll highlight what you said. It literally talks about games that's ready right now with
Yeah.
dates on them.
Yeah.
excluding Forza, which I believe
I
there's
think
a
they sneaked the date on that when Forza comes up.
I
We could talk about it a
uh,
little. I think they kind of sneaked the date on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a font they kept using throughout the whole show where the G was a
It looks like a
6.
6. It looks like yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like if we're, I mean, we might be reading too much into it, but more than likely, like E3 happens, they're like, oh, and by the way, Forza's coming out like now, or like 2 weeks from now, or whatever. Because I think the date they were showing was like, I think you were able to make out a 6 and then maybe a 20, like 620,
maybe it was like
23.
coming 2023, but then if
Yeah.
you look at the G, it was like you say, we're probably looking too much into it, but it could be a thing.
Yep.
I enjoyed it, and then the fact that they kept saying, excuse me, gotta get water. They kept showing, they kept saying throughout the weeks, Aaron Greenberg, oh, your expectations, and
Yeah.
then they drop a bomb on us, like, okay.
Well,
My only
right.
concern about that though, Logic,
Yeah.
is that we should. I'm not expecting it to be in every show, dropping of a bomb
No.
like that.
Yeah.
That
No.
was perfect because the last time we had that was Apex, and
True.
Apex Legends was, you know where that's at right now. But the way they dropped that was like that was like years ago when they dropped that. The way they dropped that, and by the way, it's ready now. It's genius. It's genius. Like it's marketing. And by the way, that game, the game we're talking about, Hi-Fi, that's being. I think they started that 2017.
Yeah. And
So
that's another thing too.
not like they just made this game yesterday and
right.
said, you know what, ready to go.
Yeah, and they also and the thing about Hi-Fi as well, and obviously we'll get to it, but that's another thing. If you look at the show, so they started with Minecraft, and that's why I kind of want to go through the individual games and some
Yeah.
games, and that's the thing too. Like here when we talk about this, guys in the chat, guys, girls in the chat, and anybody listening and stuff and watching the replay, like Minecraft I think is dope. I have my OG Minecraft installed now thanks to Game Pass on my
I
PC.
played Dungeons.
Definitely
That was
played it out.
that was a good one.
Dungeons is dope. Like Legends, this is not something for me. It looks fun, it looks cool, it looks like something that I might try out, but from a gaming perspective, like this is not something like I know this resonates and speaks to a lot of people. A lot of people are like looking forward to this. It's kind of like a tower defense, kind of like top down.
TFC?
Yeah. I mean, in this one too, they were showing off a lot of the PvP aspects of the game, like the
Mhm.
4v4, having a different role. You be the person to go and farm, and you be the person to go and build our base if you know how to build and stuff like
Yeah, it seems
you're
like
gonna be the
everybody's gonna have their
everybody's
roles.
gonna have their roles and stuff, and I think that's fun. And like I said, this might be fun to like try out and mess around with and stuff. Like I didn't see anything that was necessarily bad about it in my opinion, but for me it doesn't necessarily just speak to me personally. It's like a game that I would like sink a lot of time into. That's just because of just not the type of games that I generally tend to go and play. So like when you hear us talk about some of these games and stuff like that, if it sounds like we're not so much interested in one title over another, it's just because obviously like Sensei is a certain gamer who has certain likes and dislikes with games, and I have certain preferences as well when it comes to certain games. So that's the only thing there. So it's not that personally I didn't care. That's why I don't want it to seem like we're brushing over Minecraft and stuff. I think it was dope. I think what they showed was dope. And the fact that they literally almost the entire segment was them showing the gameplay and explaining to them what's going
Yeah,
on and how
that
these
part.
matches are going
Mhm.
to show and how
Well, for from people like us who are not into the Minecraft or just like
yes,
there's a huge community for this thing.
yes,
We're not
100%.
part of that, but there's a huge community. We respect that. But the fact that they showed off gameplay throughout the whole entire segment of
Yeah.
this, to me, it was like, okay, I get it.
Yep.
It at least got me to the point where it's like, I'll try it out. I'll give
you
it.
could under or
I'll
you
give it a
understand what's going on. Like you understand you
Yes.
understand what they're trying, the message that they're trying to convey with what they're showing and stuff like that. Like you
Yes.
actually you got a good understanding of
They
the game that they're
It
trying to
spoke
make.
to me. It spoke to me like, hey, I know maybe you haven't played these kind of Minecraft games, but this is what we got for you.
Yeah.
And it spoke to me. For those who are already into Minecraft, like them in the chat, like for him, he was like, it's a whole different world for him. Like, oh, he's excited about it because it's his type of game. It's one of those things where I will at least give it a try. I mean, it's gonna be on Game Pass anyways. I'll at least give it a try and check it out. I'm not a big on RTS, not my thing. Or tower defense. I haven't played games like that since like I used to be on PC long time ago.
Sure.
But it looks interesting enough for me to say, yo, this looks dope. I like the way it looks. The art, I guess it has ray tracing in it, or it's 4K. I want to say. But it looks very.
No, it looks.
It looks
I was gonna
beautiful,
say
man.
it looks
As
amazing. It
beautiful
looks
as Minecraft can
amazing.
be.
Yeah, I was gonna say the settings here too. I have this shown at we stream at 1080p at 60 here for the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, they have the 4K. That's another thing. We're going to cement this again, and they even said it themselves. This stream's available in 4K at 60. Pretty much everything that they were showing, you could see at 4K at 60, and they pretty much said that any game that they were showing off was already being optimized to be played at 4K 60, at least on the Xbox, at minimum. You know what I mean? Like they made a point to stress that as well too. So
Plants vs Zombies. That's what this reminded me of.
I got you. Yeah, but like
Yeah,
but a Minecraft kind of vibe to it.
put in a Minecraft. Yep, in a
Yeah.
Minecraft. Yeah, I was looking for the game to compare it to, but
Yeah.
PVE or PV what PVZ is
Yeah.
what I can most relate this to. And I played PVZ. I quite enjoyed the first one. So who knows? This might surprise me. It might be one of those Souls
And then the
things.
day two, and it's
Moments where
April.
I'm like, oh, this is great. You know, one of those things.
Yeah.
And it's April. Yeah.
This game is literally pretty much 2.5 months away at this point now. So
April 18th.
exactly.
I love how they started off like that and they gave you a date right away, like April 18th. You ain't gotta wait long.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, we are gonna put dates to these days. All right, cool. That's a good table setter for the show.
And then we jump right into second show that they showed off. Second game that they showed off was Forza. Forza, like, I think just the more and more that we see Forza,
I can't say no.
It's wild, bro. It's so insane. So Forza is definitely one of those. Like we both played Horizon. Horizon is a lot of fun from the arcade, but to actually see like the racing sim now, like Forza, like because that's what we they didn't start for. Remember, Forza didn't start. And I'm not saying saying for anybody that doesn't know, Forza didn't start as this arcadey kind of game and stuff. Even though those tend to be the ones that are a lot more popular, only because. I wouldn't say a lot more popular, but they are popular because they're just more accepting to like more casual audience. Whereas not to say that casuals can't play this game, Forza Motorsport, but this is definitely more of like the race sim, like if you are, dare I say, Gran Turismo, or you know what I mean, like anything like that, like where it's like the hardcore. Because when you think about the two pinnacle, like even back to like previous generations of games and stuff, when you talk about okay, what are the pinnacle racing games, at least from a console standpoint, you would say, Forza. Gran Turismo. Like you would these were the games that you were pitting. Now you have iRacing, you have people getting full on, racing setups and stuff like that to basically do.
Well, I think the most genius thing that the Turn 10 could have done, and this was to compete against games like Need for Speed, the arcade versions of the racing track games. Like the smart thing was that they took a team, they took a portion of the team. Cut them out so they can, they taught them how to do the whole, like use the engine, whatever. They cut them out, became Playground Games to make the Horizon, just to have that, because you're gonna have those sim racers that are all into the customization of every single thing of that car and how it performed on that track, and this tweak, is gonna affect that turn, and that tweak is gonna affect how we turn over here and how we brake over there. Where they went from that to go, well, we recognize there's a hunger for the Need for Speed gamers of racing, that racing community. So they broke off and made this team, Playground Games, to make the Horizon, and that's what that is. And this last Horizon, we both played it, fucking amazing. But this year, on a whole different level, like you can see dirt on the deck, like reflections, dirt, like just the climate, like him grinding on the sand like that. And not only just grinding on the sand, you hear the rocks kicking up and hitting the car.
Yeah,
like when it grinds those like you hear it hitting the car. Like,
they're showing here what's on the screen now, and you see it because they've turned on the closed captioning as well too. So they're literally showing like the sound design. They're optimizing for Windows Sonic. So like if you're playing on like a Windows like PC, obviously if you're playing on PC or if you're playing on Xbox with the Dolby Atmos. Like literally like making sure like the soundscape for the game, like how they're designing it, like it sounds insane. It's ridiculous.
It's insane, man. That part freaked me out because I don't know about little soundboards like that, but the way that thing moves without touching it.
Yeah, because it's like pre-programmed to do like when this happens.
I'm a novice when it comes. I don't even know what the hell was going on there. I was like, whoa, what the hell is that?
And I know I had taken note, and that was another thing too. I did take notes. Like I remember. So what did I write down for Project Gotham? 500 cars at launch, and that's another thing too. 500 cars at launch, 800 upgrades, 20 environments, fully dynamic time of day and weather elements as well too. Like that's another thing. In game,
not the replay or whatever.
Yeah. So fully dynamic time of day, meaning like if it's 12 o'clock, it's 12 o'clock. If it's 12 o'clock, it's 12 o'clock in the game. Not like I
believe they're gonna have time change in real time change, right? While you're racing.
Right, while you're racing, correct. It's real time, and then same thing. It's like weather as well too. Like I don't know if it's raining over here in the real world. Like will it be raining in the game? Obviously, a
Like the
lot of that
flight sim,
stuff.
like flight
Yeah,
sim,
like a lot of that stuff comes with like
yeah,
Azure and everything like that, or Azure.
that
Like
would be
the
that would be
cloud.
so
That
dope.
would, oh, that would be insane. But you remember, you're also gonna get a lot of those features that you saw in Horizon, like oh, I'm racing your avatar. You're gonna see that in here too. Like me and you
Oh
don't
yeah, the
have to be in the
Drivatar.
game
Yeah.
like the Drivatar stuff. Like there's gonna be games probably when you're playing, like if you're going through. That's another thing. They have this whole like competitive like online racing that you're going to be able to do, or if you just like trying to go through the story, they have this whole thing where it's like have a car, build it up and stuff, and kind of just grind through this whole like single player circuit. You're gonna like probably see other people's like on your friends list, like other people's driver tars, I think that's what you call them, right?
Yeah, Drivatar. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
what
I
they
mean,
called it. Yeah.
yeah, no,
I
it's
mean, back
wild.
in the days when they first introduced Drivatars, it's what they named it. They coined it Drivatar. I
Yeah,
don't know if they're still using it as a key highlight, but that's what it is.
yeah, no, it's
It uses the cloud. It literally records your friends
yeah,
list on what they like. It's crazy how it does that because if you're playing the game, the cloud records your sessions,
yeah,
and then if we're friends, it implements that into my racing and starts
yes.
telling me, "Oh, look how Logic took this."
Even the tendencies and stuff like that on how you
Mm-hmm.
actually race. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it,
it happened. I remember Horizon where I was I was racing. I think Buddy's car and or somebody's car ended up hitting me, and I'm like, damn. And it was Buddy. I hit him up like, yo, Buddy, you suck at driving. Like you couldn't stay up on the
see
track.
him spin out on the corner when he goes and takes
Yeah,
like a right turn or whatever. He's just spinning around in the dirt. It's like, what are you doing over there, bro?
yeah. No, but this thing even had like real time damage. Like
Yeah,
I don't know if that was ever a thing with this with the Forza Motorsport.
it's been getting there. I think like obviously as the
I know they got to
technology's
protect
improved and
the
everything.
image of the car
Yeah, I
manufacturer.
think
They
that's
don't
where they
want
were. I'm scaling back a little bit. They were talking about improved suspension and audio. I think it was like back here before the sound. Contextually aware that this is where they were talking about it here. Damage and dirt buildup as well, like on the car individually, like how does dirt like and where, and it's not just that dirt goes on the car, but it's in the portions of that it's like you would expect dirt to be. Like there's going to be more dirt in certain areas, like that were more like aerodynamic, where the dirt should be on the car, not just dirt on the car for the sake of dirt being on the car. Like there's a rhyme and a reason for the dirt being exactly where it is on the car. So
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
is, yeah, no, it is
It's
crazy.
insane. It's the amount of detail that was showing off in this game. It's just, and it's all new gameplay they show. It's not like the same shit they've been
Yeah,
showing.
some of it was like you could see like that was cut. Like there were a few shots that maybe I'm trying to see where they go. Like we saw the Nissan, the GTR shot, which I think
Oh
comes up.
yeah,
Yeah,
GTR,
where they were showing off like the ray tracing.
April. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think it was coming up. It might be here. Oh yeah, no, that's the fully dynamic weather. Let's see, 5 second
oof, look at the
increments.
colors, man. The shininess, man. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
no,
and
the
the fact
nighttime
that
racing
the
is gonna be.
glare. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the nighttime racing is
with
gonna
the
be
festival
wild.
in the backdrop like that. Yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
Like this shot right here, like seeing the reflection. This is one of the shots that we saw previously, but still seeing it, like the fact that you could see
Oh
the
man.
reflection of the orange car next to the Nissan
Yep.
GTR, and then just even how the GTR, how the sun, and
Look at
this is
this
where the
shot. That's
rate,
a money shot right here.
and this is
That's a
where the
money
ray
shot.
trace is. The carbon fiber, you can see the carbon fiber on
Look
the
at the trees.
spoiler. You could seeing the trees and everything. Right, exactly. The
Yeah.
reflection in there. The GTR, the
Yeah.
sun, how it's hitting off of the GTR logo as well too.
Yes,
The
and it's
different
different. Each reflection, the GT, the R, like
even off of the Nissan emblem. The Nissan emblem, the orange from the car is reflecting off of the Nissan emblem. It's why it's the level of detail and then
hmm
how it changed. But you remember how racing games? I mean, I don't remember because I
Look at the
don't. I mean,
Nismo to the left
yeah, the
right there.
Nismo and
Nismo.
you remember racing games that remember racing games initially used to be, it wasn't a 3D space, it was the map was stagnant and it was just like, you remember how they used to do fucking racing games compared to like now.
So I
It's
remember. Yeah.
you know what I
Like
mean?
it's leaps and bounds, leaps and fucking bounds, man. Because back then it was just, oh, what decal do I want to put on my car? Ray tracing back then was just that. It was decals on a car. Oh, I want to be sponsored by Nissan. I want to put this decal on the GTR. I want to put, like, remember that shit? It was like
Dude,
like just putting stickers
remember
on your car.
Road Rash, where it was just like
Pole position. You follow the same pole
pole
position.
position. The map was moving, not you. You just had it like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like tilt a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. It was like one of those like, it's like they
Oh
they have the
yeah,
straight.
yeah.
That's basically how they used to do racing games. This is
It was
just
like I'll go further than that before the video game racing car. You talk about the roads moving, the car didn't. back then? Remember those stupid games that we used to play as kids? It was like all you did was move the car left to right. It wasn't a video game. It was just like a board game,
Yeah.
and like the track moves, and all you do is moving your like a knob to make your car go left or right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, and then to this,
man.
it's like, come on, man. Like, we're yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most comprehensive game, 500 cars, 20 environments, and that's at the start too. Like they're launching with 20. If you don't think for 2 seconds they're not having map packs and things like that come out, like you're
Oh, fuck yeah.
crazy. You're
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Get on it. Yeah.
New online mode they're saying as well too, and I'm interested to see like how their online mode is, and then and even the single player career. I'm definitely I want to try out the single player career for sure. But this game is
I
gonna
would
look
like to see like
so
events
sick.
happening, like where you could like equivalent to like clan, let's say Clan Wars, rank games or whatever.
Mm,
Make it where like could join these events and start racing for pinks and shit like that. Like that,
that would be dope.
I think I think that's more of the Horizon part. But just
Yeah,
pink
I think so
pinks
too.
would be
But
would be
yeah, I
cool,
mean
man.
stuff like that. If they allow you to do that, but like build up this car, tune it out, and then be able to like put it up and like actually have a risk
Showcase it.
reward,
Hmm.
showcase it and have a risk reward. It's like, all right, let's go race for pinks. It's like, okay, if you beat me, you get my car that I
You
built
get the
out. You
car.
get this
Literally, you
car.
get the
Yeah,
car. I don't have it no more.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore now. I have to go buy it again and build it again. You know what I mean? Like that would be dope for sure.
That's realism,
Um,
right? That's sim.
yeah, man.
That's sim right there. Oh man, no, I was excited for this, man. Now I gotta ask before we move
Yeah.
on. What do you think about like the date? You think they missed on a date, or we're getting it soon, or what's going on?
Well, no.
Are
So
they
this
setting
is
up
so at the
something?
end. I think is the splash that when we see like when they do the closeout scissor reel, and when
Yeah.
because here it says release coming 2023. So
Mm-hmm.
if uh Minecraft was April, and I think
April.
we
Yeah.
and the
18.
next month is I mean we're gonna get to Redfall. It's not a leak. It's May. Redfall is May, which is huge, big AAA. I mean I could definitely see this. I could see this as early as because it looks ready. I could see this as early as March. I could also see
I
this
can.
as late as like a July as well. There's a lot of stuff coming in June, man. Diablo 4. There's so much shit happening in gaming this year. It's like good
My
luck
head's
trying to
spinning,
find a
bro.
spot
Fucking
like
head
where
spin.
to
When
fit
you
your
look at the
game.
amount of games we're
Yeah,
getting
man.
from here to June, my head is
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
spinning. Like it's like holy
So like
shit.
so I could see it coming out as early as like a month from now. I could also see it coming out
I can see it.
sometime in like summer, like early summer for sure, like
Mm-hmm.
early to midsummer.
Like a summer title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
And then we're going right to the surprise of the show. This is wild.
This is wild. Like when they started talking, I was like, "Wait, what is this?" And what threw me off is that these are the guys that made Evil Within 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But to not to be fair here, the guy who made the director of this game is the one who did DLC for Evil Within 2.
Yes.
Like he did the DLC for that, and then he just gave him the reins to this game. Said, "Go ahead and go at it." 2017, they started developing this game. I'm pretty sure this is one of those games that Xbox saw when they visited them numerous times to maybe buy the studio when they're having those conversations. They saw this and they're like, "Yo, this is Sunset Overdrive. You know, this is Jet Set Radio. This is Borderlands animation. This is DMC character driven story. Like this is all of that. Check, check,
Yeah.
check, check, check. I like it." And they showed it off, and at first I'm like, "Okay, this is different." I thought it was. I'm gonna be honest with you. When they showed this off without me listening, I thought it was a show that was introducing, like a TV, animated show, like a series. I'm going, oh, they're getting into that space,
Right.
but I'm like, no, this is not that. This is a game, and that part there, the Evil Within, I'm like, huh? This
Yeah.
is not. I think he said that. He says like this is something completely different from what you're used to seeing from us.
Yeah. And,
And
from the people that brought you Evil Within and Evil Within
yeah,
2. It's like, here. Here's
so
this really cool
I'm
rhythm game,
the Xbox part of me is very excited for games like this because it's these passion projects that's been coming up to the forefront and becoming a drive in the industry. You know, it's not it's a new IP, it's fresh IP, but it's something similar, but it's not the typical AAA big old title that you were used to seeing a sequel of and another sequel of. This is something different, something fresh that they took a chance on, and you already seen the reaction to this, the way it's been received in the
Well,
community.
and I'll quickly, since I have this up here, I'm just making sure because we are a live show, we do this live. I literally had this because I knew that's where you were gonna go, and not that listen. We've had this conversation numerous times, on this podcast and just in gaming in general. I don't think a Metascore is a direct correlation to how well or how poor a game
Definitely
is
not. Yeah.
doing, but to see it come out and get the scores that it's been getting, I mean, the user score I think is what I look at more so than the actual critic score, like the critic reviews. But you know, the couple of critic views that have come through already have been majority. Excuse me, what am I trying to say? The majority of them
Majority.
have been, yeah, thank you. Majority of them have been fucking good. But
Yeah.
period. Like they've been
Positive on
really
the
they're
up. Yeah.
positive. They've been positive, and then the user score too, like over 90% user score, because just the game's just fun to play, and the music in it as well too. That's another thing. Like the fact that they had to. So what kind of threw me off when I first started playing was the the option where it tells you like, hey, listen, if you're a content creator / streamer, you know,
Oh, dude,
yeah, we
I
got
appreciated
music.
that. I appreciated the
Because
shit out of that.
this is Guardians of the Galaxy all over again. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's
Because I
like,
mean, the first boss fight is set into Nine Inch Nails.
dude, the Nine Inch Nails track came out. I said, oh, I was bugging out. I was like, oh, I got Nine Inch Nails playing right now. I was like, wait a second.
Oh, because I literally I download the moment they said it was ready today, I downloaded it and it said I gotta stream it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh, the music is it's like it's music that I can get hit for. But then it literally when you start the game, it's not something you gotta look for. It tells you, hey, we're conscious of the content creators that are gonna be putting this game on their channels. There's a mode that you can put on streamer mode that will like eliminate that like getting hit with the copyright and all that stuff. I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
and I
And by the
turned
way,
it on.
and the
I'm like,
music that they're using was it's an original soundtrack made
original
by them.
Bethesda music,
Yeah, but
like
that-
there
right,
it says Bethesda original, I
score
don't know, music
basically. Yeah, original
score. Yeah, I'm like,
essentially.
oh my
Yeah,
god,
and
yo,
it
the
just
game is the game is good. But the way they presented it, the way they spoke about it, I'm loving Tango games right now. I'm loving what they do. I love
yeah.
Blue Within 1 and 2. My favorite is the second one out of both because of the way it paced. I'm just loving that they took a chance on this and they let it run. But it's just Sunset Overdrive all over the place.
And
Like,
it's
the way
funny. It's not like funny cheesy too. It's funny. That's
It's
another
no,
thing
it's
that I
fun. Yeah.
actually like. The first,
one of the cool kids not calling
I
it
laughed.
cringe.
Yeah, I'm in a Discord call with my brother, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I installed it. I'm playing it because we were talking, right? And then I start playing it, and it's to the first part where he comes off of the assembly line, and he's about to
Yes.
get tossed off. They show it in the beginning of this as well too, and he gets tossed off. And just after he gets tossed off, slammed into the gate, and then he just starts rolling around on the floor.
Yeah.
I was dying. I'm literally,
Yeah.
I'm cackling, and my brother's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Bro, this is fucking hysterical." And
It's
you have
good.
no idea. It was funny. It was just because the comedic timing that they had with that, and just how it was. The
Well, he's a
shout-
klutz.
yeah,
He's a legit
exactly.
klutz throughout the whole
Yeah.
game. He's a klutz, you know,
Yeah.
and he's clueless of what's going. Like his timing is off all the time.
Yes.
Like he delivers these lines where at the wrong time. It's like even when he's like hitting on something like at the right moment, he seems to find a way to mess it up.
Yeah.
And your partner in the game, I don't want to like whoever hasn't played it, but you got AI partners in the game.
Yep.
Like they'll call him out on that stuff. Like, bro, like this is the wrong time. Like, what are you doing? like stop, slow it down. But he's such a clutch that it works so good though. Like I think Dimber's saying it in the chat where he's like, but going back to the streamer side of things, but you know it's a great game when even the streamer one is great. Yes, and because most games I've done this where you put streamer mode on and it's like cheesy music, it's not even great music, or they don't even put music at all. It's just whatever.
That's awkward. Yeah.
But yeah, but they went as far because of all the time. Oh my Prodigy.
Wolfgang Gartner. Yeah.
They went as far as to create their own soundtrack just to be conscious of that kind of thing because they knew this game was going to be out there and they were going to be promoting it through content, creations and streamers. But if they're gonna get hit with copyright, you're gonna get that. We're not gonna stream this anymore, and that kind of hurts the flow of the marketing side of things. It's just that they went out and made original music so that you can stream that original music and not worry about getting hit. As a content creator, as a streamer myself, that's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
I love that.
And the way the game plays too. And in case you didn't you couldn't get it, like if you're not if you're not able to watch, if you're just listening to us, like because we've been showing, we kind of had it on loop now, different gameplay and stuff for it. But it's a character action game, so think somewhere along the lines of like a Devil May Cry. Kind of game, but also too with also a rhythm game built in. I'm like, am I playing Amplitude right now? Like I'm like,
yes,
like that's like you know what I mean? Like I'm like where did somebody call like I forget what the name of the studio was What's the name of the studio that made it?
Plantronic or Playtronic or like I forget
Phonics or
it.
something like that.
Yeah, it
Somebody will
was
correct me
font
in chat. It's so,
I ooh, I
yeah,
forgot.
it's bad that I actually don't remember, but that's because I like rhythm games. Like I would say I loved Amplitude. Amplitude was like my shit. I loved Amplitude so much that when Guitar Hero 3 came out on the 360, I didn't use a fucking guitar. I used a 360 controller. I was playing Through the Fire and Flames on the fucking 360 controller, okay? That's how much I like appreciate rhythm games.
You
So
know,
the
my son was the one that called me on my cap because when I first like when they started talking about rhythm based game,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, rhythm based, and my son's like, that's cap. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, Guitar Hero,
Yeah.
DJ Hero,
Yeah.
rock band.
Yeah, rock.
Hello,
Yeah.
we the whole family was playing the damn thing in the living room. Like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
And then they
You're right.
basically took that and then they said, "Yo, oh, and here's a character action game like right now." Like, you know what I mean?
But see, but it doesn't. Here's the thing: for those who like stop at, I don't know about the rhythm based game.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it. But this game does not. One of the things it does very well when it comes to that genre, it doesn't penalize you for not hitting the notes.
You know, it doesn't
It
punish you.
does
It
not
doesn't
penalize.
punish
It
you for
doesn't
not being
punish you
on
in a way
beat.
where it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't progress because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't punish you. It actually feels rewarding when you get
yes.
like when you get it and you progress. Like, oh, this felt good. It felt
Yes.
really good. Because there were times in the game, like right there, that door right there. When I first got to this door, I was like, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And there's more of that throughout the game where it gets a little bit more difficult. There's a difficulty that, kind of it scales up a little bit with these kind of little puzzly rhythm based part where you have to open up some doors. And even that was satisfying. I'm like, oh, I get it. Hold the wide and let go of the wide. Press the like it's cool. And for those who are not like who are rhythm impaired, there is a accessibility mode
Yes.
where you can turn it on where it's even easier for you to go through these rhythms, these
Yep.
sequences. That's not quite the one button touch thing. It is, but it isn't. But it's pretty much where you can turn it on, and I think it showed it off earlier on this on the video you're putting up here,
Mm-hmm.
where that little cat robot that floats around you.
Yeah, that's all. That's
If you
to
hit
help
the
you to
back
keep
button,
time. Yep.
yes, if you hit the back button on your controller, I don't know what is in the keyboard, but literally it comes up as something in the bottom, a bar comes up in the bottom where it's like it keeps you like you can hit the pace
Right
of
here.
the beat.
Right here.
Yeah, that right
It's-
there.
Yep.
As long as you stay with that pace right there, you're good to go.
Yep.
In the world, here's the I just can't speak less of this, but the amazing part about this is the whole game is set to the beat.
Yeah.
Like him walking, like if you notice when you walk,
Yes.
it's him to the beat.
The way
He's
the
snapping his
levels
finger
move,
to
the
the
way
beat.
the way the levels move, the way
the levels move.
Yeah, the way when you're waiting for
Yes.
the little the platforming, like when you do the platforming sections and you're waiting to
Yes,
jump
the
around and
beat.
stuff, like it's all the elevator to
Like,
the
boom,
beat.
boom,
Everything is to
boom,
the yep.
boom. Yes.
The way the bosses
really-
even
it's-
the attack pattern to the bosses. Because
The beat,
because
all
that's
the
another
beat,
thing.
yeah.
It gets kind of like a little. I won't say like From Software, freaking Dark Soulsy or whatever. But it's like, but you have those instances where you're fighting bosses and stuff, and it's like, okay, like how do I figure out what their attack pattern is? It's like, well, just
Yep.
follow the beat. You know what
That's
I mean?
another
It's like,
thing that
yeah.
the bosses, each boss feels different when you fight them because they all have a
Yes.
different strategy.
Yep.
And that part was Souls like to me, like the strategy you have to go through because it's not just button mashing. Literally,
No.
each boss has a different. And listen, these levels are long, which another thing that impressed me. I'm going for a $30 game.
Yeah, this isn't a 10-minute game. That was another thing too.
No.
Like you're not beating this in 10 minutes. Like I mean, I'm sure.
No.
Let me not say that because speedrunners will be like, "Yeah, you fucking
Ah,
think."
challenge
And-
accepted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like so. I'm just saying though. It's like the casual's not running through this in 10 minutes. Like it's gonna take you some time.
Dude, I've been
like, to
playing
go
it since
through.
it dropped, and I'm still playing. Like
Right.
I literally was in a level yesterday. I joined the party. Shout out to Stormy, good peoples. I was
Yep.
looking at her in the chat. And I started a party chat with her. I started playing a level, and I was 2 hours into party chat with her, and I have not finished that level yet. Now, yes, there was pausing in there, and I got up for bathroom breaks, that kind of stuff. But the fact that the level kept going and it felt repetitive, I'm still in this level. And she was like, "Are you still really in that level?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I started fighting a boss, Mimosa, by the way. The names on this fucking game is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm fighting this boss called Mimosa, and she has 3 fucking phases, and each phase
Yeah.
is different. I'm going, yo, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Like it's good,
And
man.
even the
And
different environments where the bosses, like the one boss that they showed on here, I think it was back here as well too. I didn't get to this person yet, but because I think I only got up to the first boss pretty much. But it was right. Is it this room here? One of these rooms where he's just tries swinging back and forth like on
Oh, that's not even a
like the
boss. That's a
magnets.
mini. That's
Oh,
a
that's what I mean.
samurai mini
That's like
boss.
a mini
Yeah,
boss. That's another thing.
yeah.
There's like mini bosses as well that you end up fighting, which is
And they
pretty
got their
nuts.
own patterns
Yeah,
and
right
stuff.
here.
Yep.
This you see, like you're kind of going back and forth between the magnets because the floor is like
Mm-hmm.
electrified
Oh
and
no,
stuff.
she's the boss. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. See,
Oh,
that-
and by the way, the bosses are like they're like heads of a different division of the business.
yes. Yeah,
Like you have
oh, you got to go.
marketing.
Yeah, in order to get out,
finance
you got to go to
guy.
quality control. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's like, all right,
It's so good, but like it doesn't take itself serious.
no,
But oh man, the game's good. I honestly, and I'm not big on these awards and trinkets and stuff, but
sure.
honestly, if this has legs, it is an early contender for Game of the Year. I know it's January.
I was gonna say
know
we're
it's January.
28 days in, 29 days
And
in. So
recency bias is a thing, but
sure.
Elden Rings did it. Like they kept their legs going and literally won the Game of the Year last year, and that game came out early last year.
You say shit like that, and fucking Redfall and Starfield haven't even come out.
That's what I'm saying. There's other games coming out.
I mean, don't get me wrong though. It's like Hades. When Hades dropped, I think that shit was like a game of the like people didn't.
But they couldn't give it
realize
twice.
it. Yeah, you know what I mean.
They couldn't give the award twice, which I said they should have. But
yeah, no, but this is that. It's wild, man. It's wild how good the game is. I'm glad that it's being accepted.
I have not reached a bug in the game. It hasn't crashed on me. It doesn't. The frame rates are perfect.
Oh yeah, it runs great. It runs amazing.
2K.
Yeah,
I think it's 4K, 2K. At 60 frames,
it
runs amazing, and it's optimized really fucking well, really well. How does it run on the PC?
Oh, amazing, great, fluid,
fluid,
fluid, a lot of fun, and you could play it at 60. I think the game was defaulted to 60 in the beginning, and then I upped it to my monitor refresh, so 144. Refresh. Beautiful. So it's like, it's silk, it's smooth. It's just,
nice.
So, and it just feels good to play. And that's another thing too, like rhythm games, like in the day when you didn't have like a high refresh monitor versus like now playing a rhythm game, it's like, listen,
very important.
Anybody out there too, it's like, I think, people out here too, it's like, that's another thing. I might be going off a little on a tangent, but it's like, I'd like to get some rhythm games back. I mean, don't tell me like they wouldn't be popular now if you didn't do like a fucking Rock Band now or a Guitar Hero now. Like, you know what I mean? Like actual... Like, come on.
I think they missed their mark in that because the pandemic was all locked up. That would have been the perfect time to remake any of those damn titles.
Any of that, man. And especially with the way you have like things like live service. Like imagine, because those are essentially live service games as well too. Because you have you have music that's always coming out. So it's like, and I understand the amount of money that and I think that's what the throwaway is, because I think EA got into it, and then Activision, because it was Activision as well. Those are the two on Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero being on Activision.
That part of the screen is funny.
What's that?
He's just dancing to his old fucking music. Yeah. The robot's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what, are you okay with it, bro?"
Yeah. I think it's just because of licensing and stuff like that, and the amount of money that's probably involved. I think like that just scared a lot of companies away. It's like, this is too much of a hassle to have to go and like license music for a game. So I think that's why a lot of people have like shied away from it. But it sucks because I feel like there's still like there's a place for it. In my opinion, I feel like there is. Especially when you see like popularity of a game like this. I'm not like here trying to completely compare Hi-Fi Rush to fucking Rock Band, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, but you're right. I mean, it's a serious thing when you talk about the trademarks and copyright, because they only license these things for a few years.
Like they got
if they don't renew it, they can't really promote it no more.
That's
Rock Band, Aerosmith, or not Rock Band, Guitar Hero, Aerosmith, and, the Beatles, all that stuff that has to be reverted back. Yeah, if the game is, and that's why you see them getting unplugged a lot, because it's just too much money to keep these libraries going. It's a lot of money, even though they branded it as, hey, this is the theme for this. Like this is the Beatles, this is the Aerosmith, this is the Guns N' Roses, whatever it is. They after a while, after 5 years, they say it's gone. They unless they're gonna re up on that deal, and doesn't make financial sense. But I appreciate games like this, man.
For sure.
And the big drop was it's available now.
It was the shadow drop.
Oh,
the actual shadow drop. So that was another thing as well too. When it actually got to that, this is back to the actual stream itself. So I think it was like right here. So they were like, "Oh yeah, we have one more thing to announce." It was like, "All right, what's one more thing?" And it's like,
yeah, what's the one more thing? Yeah, and I didn't expect it. I was like, what's one more thing?
You can play it tonight.
Within 3?
Yeah.
We're not even win 3. I don't know. Was it? And then he said, "Dad, you tell him." Oh yeah. So not only are we psyched about this game, but we're happy to tell you it's available tonight.
Yeah, not a
And by
demo.
tonight, they meant right now. Like I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit, it's there.
yeah,
Yeah.
refreshed. I refreshed the Xbox store on or the Xbox app on PC, and it was like, oh shit, I can download it. So
Yeah, it wasn't instantly on Game Pass
no,
on my Xbox. I had to go to the window like whatever Windows .com, whatever the game section
yeah,
on that. Download it from there into my Xbox, and it was there. And I was like, oh my god! But this game is it's it, man. And the amazing the price. If you're buying the game, $30
yeah.
for the standard edition, and you get a full on game. Would you say this is double A?
I'm sorry.
Would you say it's double A or triple A? I think it's double A, right? Because it's all about how much money got spent on it.
I
That's what
think
makes it.
after I played through the game, I think that I think that's true too. It's probably I guess you could consider this a double A title that plays like a triple A title. That's developed like it doesn't look like a double A title. You know what I mean?
It doesn't play
It
like a
doesn't
double A
play like
title
a
either.
double A title either. It plays like a high end triple A title.
I can't
So.
get over these T names they gave these Chai and
Yeah,
Mimosa
and then even the theme too, like to speak on that, like when they end out, when they close out of like one game, so they were ending it there. So like they gave you like the TLDR, pretty much Hi-Fi Rush, Tango GameWorks, Xbox Series XS PC when it's coming out today, that day, and then play with Game Pass, today, boom, right? And then they did like a little nice little thing. Like I like the theme that they went through as well too, like going through this. You know what it actually almost reminded me of? Like a lot of this stuff was the fuck? It's gonna come to me now. Miss Marvel. Like
okay,
almost like
okay,
comic booky, like the drawing,
mm-hmm.
like you know what
Oh,
I
like the
mean? Like
show,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Okay,
kind of like storybooking, kind of like like we have a story to tell. Here's a story, and this is how we're
yep.
doing. Like you know what I mean? So
Timber,
because
I agree. Technically, it is a AAA studio. You can't call it that.
that's
But
true.
this
Yeah.
is why I guess this is why they're calling now things like this passion projects. Because they come out of AAA studios.
You're gonna tell me that fucking Hades, wasn't technically like that's what I mean. Like that's a 4A game, right? That's literally a
Yeah.
4A game, but probably like to your point, like a 2A like 2A like budget.
Yeah.
Like, you know
That's
what I'm
why they
saying?
call it.
Like
That's what I think they're coining that whole phrase, the whole passion project. Sea of Thieves, this like these are passion projects that I'm just happy that they're allowed to do these type of things
yeah,
and go out and explore these kind of settings. It game like this is really needed in our gaming space because again, like I don't know about you, but sometimes you get jaded with the sequels to the same games over and over again. It's like what's
yeah,
next? I want to see the studio do something different. And Tango did that, man. They did that. They're them. They did that. Like they went on and did this fucking game. Is like we got something for you. You're gonna enjoy it, and here it is. And it's right now. It's just amazing. Amazing how they did that. Great marketing on that.
yes.
Awesome marketing.
Yep,
And then we move
absolutely.
on.
And we move on right into Elder Scrolls Online Necrom. That's another thing that's also coming out June, by the way. Yo, June. Can we talk about June again? Now that I just
June is heavy.
bro.
June is fucking heavy. I just looked at it on Google and I'm looking at the list. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah,
June
man.
is fucking
June is heavy. So ESO2, that's another thing. I think for a while, I think I told you, Reborn was on this for a while. I know Sunday was on this for a while. I knew a bunch of people that were on Elder Scrolls for a while as well too. ESO is dope, man. It really is just a dope game that's been
I
out
played
there.
mainly the mainline one, the main like
Yeah.
the Skyrims and the Morrowinds. I played those, but never really got into the online version of it.
Yeah.
I played it because I need to play it for me to form an opinion. I played it, great solid game. Just not again, not for me.
Yeah, no,
but
that's what I mean.
ESO's growing, man. That
Right.
shit's not what it look. It's not when ESO first came out. It's nothing like now.
Yeah.
It's completely different game. It's like holy shit, and it's not
Bro,
just the announcement
look at the
of
ESO world.
Necrom.
You see the ESO world
Yeah.
too? That's another thing.
Yes.
Like because it's based off of the actual game, and this is when you go like, wow, Bethesda, like you guys are fucking insane. Like when you think about the world that they were able to like create and stuff like that, and to know like different parts of this world here are basically different parts of like the Elder Scrolls world. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Like and of
Right.
their mainline games. Like if you think about Elder Scrolls games in general outside of ESO, right, or ESO as we're referring to it and stuff, and different parts of like more was it Morrowind and things like you know what I mean, like it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. It's and then just how much they're taking from the individual games, the individual titles, and putting
Yep.
into ESO as well too, to make it like that live service online game. Not to say that it's out here competing with your World of Warcraft and stuff, but it has its own niche. like
Yep.
that, like
Yep.
and people are just drawn to it and they play it, and if they're still supporting it. When they showed the crazy part, and I think it was like towards the end of this, but right here,
Yeah, I know where you're going. Yep.
did
I know
yo,
exactly right there, right there. Yep.
this is crazy.
All now. If you have Game Pass, this is all available right. All this DLC they dropped on it over the years is available for you right now.
This is
Now,
literally
if
like
you
what,
if
but
you had a life before this,
yeah,
yeah, well, kiss that goodbye if you get into this content. But
this is what I'm saying.
Morrowind,
Play
Somerset,
previous chapters
Elsewhere,
and over 20
Raymore.
DLCs for free, and
Wow.
you obviously need the base game. But if you have Game Pass, you could play this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is
Instantly.
Yeah, instantly. This is wild. This is wild. This is
This
wild
is
to me.
putting a dollar amount to this is nuts.
That part. And another thing too, and I told my brother this, and this was the conversation I was having where we were talking about this. And like I said, this is one of those games that I preference, like in the beginning, where it's like this game feels like a time sink to me in a way that because I play other games that I sink so much time into, I feel like I would be doing a disservice if I was like to pick this up and start playing it. Like,
Yep.
because it's like because of how much time I put into League of Legends, how much time I put into
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 2. It's like I couldn't, like, you know what I mean? I feel like this is not a game that you could just jump in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'll just play an hour or two," and
I
then
mean,
just jump right out. Like,
yeah, no way, no way, no way.
you
It's no way. For
you know
the
what I
Elder
mean?
Scroll ban, if all you did was pick up Game Pass for $15 a month and this is what you played, you're in for a treat. Like you got every single DLC that's come out for this game, and Necro, which is coming out soon. The date was dropped. I think what was the date they dropped on this? Was it June?
This was June. Yeah, the date at the end, right here,
So you're getting
June 20th, dude.
if you are
Release June 5th. I'm sorry, June 5th PC. June
if
20th
you're
is for Xbox.
yeah, June 5th and 5th and 20th.
Yep.
Day before my birthday. Nice.
No
But if
worries.
you're a huge Elder Scrolls fan and you need a reason for Game Pass, you got it right here. This is it. Like
Yeah.
if you, oh my god, like it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like it's what you said. I couldn't pick up this game today because it'll be a disservice to the game, like you said.
Yeah.
Because I sink so much hours.
It's not that I wouldn't want to play it. It's that I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like I'd have the time to commit to playing it. And I think if the game's good enough
is a
and if it hooks you,
commitment.
you'll go and do that. But it's like, but I know I want to play Destiny. I know I have enough
Commitment, man.
like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's the commitment you have to make to the individual games and stuff. So, and there are people that are like that currently with Final Fantasy 14, with World of Warcraft, like you know what I mean? Like pick your poison at this point. Like everybody has like their go-to game and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this is really good stuff and good news for the people that are big time ESO fans. They did so also as well too. After this, they did a whole other presentation because they couldn't fit everything that they wanted to talk about in the direct here, and they knew that, so that's why this actually.
Speaking of the service, you can't just do a 4-minute, 5-minute
Yeah,
thing.
and
with
that's what
game.
this was. They literally just highlighted what they were doing in 4 minutes, and then said, "Oh, after this stream, we got a separate stream just to go over everything we're doing here
I
at
could
ESO."
imagine this team when they got approached by Xbox to say we got to do a 5-minute skit, of the game
Yeah.
to present it. They'll probably like, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah, five
Are you
5 minutes
kidding me right now?"
is real. It's like, yeah, no, get it going.
We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll do it. But we gotta have our own thing too. Yeah, you got it. But we need 5 minutes. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And they put it together. I want to know because we moved on, but I want to know. I want to go back real quick to Tango.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that if it holds true to what what's the game that we just played that just came out of exclusivity, Deathloop.
Yep.
If it keeps that same time frame, we are bound to play Tokyo or Ghostwire.
Oh, Ghostwire.
Yeah. In March.
So
that's another game that
that they're not even talking about because they already know. It's the same thing. It's like how they didn't really hype up Deathloop like that, and then once Deathloop came out, they were like, "Holy shit, Deathloop is the shit!" Again, and when I mean came out, I mean like was available on Game Pass, after its exclusivity deal. Ghostwire, I feel like it's going to be the same thing because there's just so many more people that are going to be able to play it.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's another game from Tango that obviously they can't talk about it, but if it keeps the same time frame as Deathloop, it'll be out in March, sometime in March.
That's dope.
Late.
Yep.
Yeah. So and that's ESO. For those who are ESO fans or not ESO fans, you want to get into something that's gonna take a lot of your gaming space up. It's gaming time. This is it right here. For $15, if that's all you play, Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying.
You're set.
Yeah,
kiss your life goodbye. It's just it. You're done.
I mean, that's kind of a grim way of putting it, but
I mean, kiss your extra curricular activities away.
there you go. That's
Okay,
better. Yeah, that's
thank
better.
you.
That's
I
better.
appreciate
No,
that.
no, you're
Yeah,
good.
that was
I
kind of
got
grim.
you.
That
I
was
got you.
grim.
That was a
Yeah,
little grim. That was a little grim. So,
yeah. Notice
and
how the G's are starting to change to 6, like as the slides go by.
yeah,
They nonchalantly changed the G to a 6
and
as
dude,
we move on to the
and
show.
I think the highlight of the show. I mean, it was definitely highlights, but obviously the
Oh, this
highlights
is for us, right
we
here.
were
This is
looking
us.
for. This was for us. My brother. I mean, my brother's been looking for this. Like he's been saying, look, there's messages I could go back in conversations that we've had where it's just like, dude, they gotta like really highlight some Redfall. We don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like with like as far as like what the game is really about. We saw gameplay, we
Yeah.
saw little things and little quick hits, but it's like we really didn't know what it was about. Well, for they literally spent the most time talking about it. It started at the 30-minute mark basically and went all the way to 41 minutes, so they spent a
I
good
think this is the one
11
that had the
minutes.
most time. Yeah.
Yeah, 11 minutes on this. Really going through individual, excuse me, and that's the thing, individual parts of the game, basically showing you classes, showing you the different characters, what they do, showing you what you're going to be doing in the game, how you're going to be using your abilities, how you're going to be using your weapons, like what type of activities you're going to be doing in the game. This was the full on like, here's Redfall, like here it is in all of its glory, and it looked really good as well too.
Definitely. Oh, my bad. My wife's
No,
talking to me.
no, you're good. You're good. So yeah, man. I mean, just a lot of different highlights. They're showing here. I know I have the CC on closed captioning, so let's see. Showing the different characters, the world itself, the weapons, the weapon customizations. I know I had notes here that I took, and I actually took them in the order. So that's what it was. What they were looking to achieve, and this is one thing that I took a note here: detail, open world, largest setting for their developer ever. So for this team here, this is the largest setting that they've claimed they've ever had to make. So that's good, actually. Hopefully it's a large play space with a lot of different enemies, not just like open play space with not so many enemies. But it looked like there's going to be a lot of activities to do. They focus on this like little home base area here, which is like a fire station. This is one of the
hub,
things. Yeah, like a little hub that they have here as well too, where you look like you're gonna have like a mission board, like almost like kind of like side questing.
Yep.
Yeah, this is very so now there's so many different games and I'm gonna use this as a reference point because I think I could, this is how it's like word association. It's like I see a little board like this, automatically my brain goes to two games, but the first game mainly being Division. Like I see this and I'm thinking, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I got stuff I got to go do. Like, like a little board and stuff like that. Like I get to go Division. I mean, I even think things like Assassin's Creed, like, oh, a little side mission board. You know what I mean? Like every time you went into a port in Odyssey and you got like little missions to go and pick up depending on what area you were in, right there. And then even like you had like a board similar to this as well too in one of the updates for Destiny. But there's a lot of games that have used it and stuff. But this is one where you're going to be able to get quests and to find out what you have to do in the world. This seems like it was like a main mission quest here, like getting the light tower like turned back on.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The weapons look cool. This almost looked like an M14 kind of thing set up as well, like from weapon with like a little red dot.
With the red dot, yep.
Yeah. And they get to it as well too. Like I don't want to jump around too much, but so home bases. You get to rest there, receive missions from survivors, sneaking side missions, public events. That was one thing as well too. This class right here, I mean, obviously going invisible, OP.
OP, yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Yep, that's gonna be me."
Cloaking, OP. You have a stake. Like that's another thing too. Each weapon, if you see,
stake,
there's like the stake at the end.
Stab 'em.
Yeah, so like you get the enemy weak enough, and then it's like shoot them in like the highlighted spot where you have to shoot them, like because you're killing vampires. Like that's what we're doing. We're hunting vampires.
You're hunting vampires.
Yeah, but you could see some of the
Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, and you could see some of the elements of like other arcane games like come out into it. But everything looks shooting. Listen, here's the thing. There was a lot of people talking online too. I didn't see a lot of negative stuff about Redfall, but honestly, there were some people like, oh, it looked very kind of like on rails. You know what it really looked like to me personally? It looked like if you were watching something like this, like at like an E3 showcase. Like they made sure their movement was slow enough where it's like you could kind of see what's going on. You could pick out certain things. Like it was deliberate. I don't think like this was an indication of oh no, the game
playing
is slow.
this game, we're not going to be slowly.
No.
Maybe in the beginning just to take it in. But then once you get used to the game and that kind of comes off, we're not gonna be running or walking slow motion
Yeah,
these
I'm on
rooms
mouse
looking at
and
every
keyboard.
detail.
If you think
Yeah,
for 2 seconds I'm gonna be moving that way, you could honestly tell this was played by somebody using a controller. Like you could
yeah,
tell,
oh yeah,
you could tell like in some of the shooting sections how the gun was almost like quote unquote locking on to enemies because that's the aim assist that's helping you
aim
because
assist.
you're using a controller. You know what I mean? That's by default. But this was all but a lot of this was done deliberately, I think, for like the cinematic idea, preview and stuff. And like you would see it like any other type of showcase or E3 presentation and stuff. I don't think it's a direct correlation to, oh, this is how the game plays. The game plays slow. It looks, because some people were trying to like kind of stalk up that narrative and stuff. This looks
Yep,
polished. This looks good. This doesn't look like incomplete. But this is because this is the look and the feel that they're going for. These bosses and
yep.
missions are crazy what they were talking about. Like I mean, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but besides the sneaking side missions and almost like I put down a note, kind of like a public event, because it's like what they were kind of vaguely describing, like being able to like, something happening. It's almost like Spider-Man when you swinging around the city and like somebody gets their purse robbed.
And
It almost
something's
seemed like
happening.
that, like
Yeah,
you come across something in the environment and you get to go and
it
stop
makes
it.
it feel. It makes it feel lively. Makes it feel
Exactly.
like the world is alive.
Exactly. This is like that little sneaking mission, like I'm going about. It's like, oh, this is cool. Send out like a little distraction robot.
That part is cool. Yeah, yeah.
That's like half of like one of those Boston. That's ironic because that's like half of like a Boston Dynamics like robot, that AI
Didn't even
robot.
talk about that. That shit is creepy as hell.
That's crazy. It's only 2 legs though instead of like the four.
Yeah,
And it's also ironic too because they're in Massachusetts, and where's Boston Dynamics based out of? Like right near MIT,
Massachusetts. Yeah,
Massachusetts. So
yeah.
it's kind of cool. This whole idea of like the blood and stuff. I mean, like I said, it looks pretty cool, man. Like what you're getting, like the design of the guns themselves, it looks like guns go pew. You know what I mean? Like
Yep,
yeah, guns go
yep.
pew. They seem like they're
There's
fun to use.
verities.
Yeah, the abilities to be. I mean, and they get to it like later on in this showcase as well too. Like the team abilities, being able to like lift your character. Like one ability, like I could create like a little elevator underneath you and fly you up in the air, and you can go and like do some crazy shit. I don't know how often we're going to be doing that, but but
Yeah,
you can do
right.
that. Yeah, this looks like they focused a lot, and that's another thing too. They focused a lot here on this is like single player basically. This you don't have a teammate here.
And they did focus a lot on
Yeah,
single player a
this is
lot.
like the
Yeah.
single player, so it's like they're not saying you have to play this game as a team, but I think like any other games too, you'll find enjoyment playing this game solo, but you'll also find enjoyment playing this game with a squad, and
I definitely this is one of those games definitely I want to play with a squad. Like I
yeah,
definitely want to experience this with a bunch of you guys. Just to like just to get the full it's just the team based the team based way of playing this game. It looks like it's going to be fun. How to attack different enemies, the different what do you call it? The different like roles. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Like the
okay,
different roles.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you go in there and you could be the guy that's all out assault while
Yeah,
the other
who's the
guy's a
bruiser?
medic.
Who's the tank? Who's the
Hmm.
heal? Who's the right? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like one of those games for me. What I was looking forward to watching this show because again, I'm like almost like you when you started off talking about this, where it was like, okay, I've seen the game, but not seen the game. I want to know what
Mm-hmm.
it plays like, what it looks like, what it feels like, what are the classes in it. And one of the things that this answered for me, which it's not a bad thing, but I had that Deathloop kind of moment. I was like, is this all one little hub and you just keep playing the same hub over and over again,
Yeah.
like Deathloop does? Which is it was good for that game. I don't know if that was going to be that part like in this game, but they answered that question for me very fast. Like they were like, nope, this is not just one world.
Right.
You're literally traveling around the city, and each city has a different setting. You have carnivals in the background.
Yeah.
You have the fire station as your hub. Like there's different things you do, pick up missions, and it looks like they show the map where you travel to a whole like you take Route 66 or whatever, and you travel to a whole different area.
It's
Um,
very distinct
very
areas. Like
distinct.
you're gonna
Yes,
know when you're in one particular neighborhood. What they call
correct.
it neighborhoods, and that's another thing. This idea of like to your point, the neighborhood controls, like being
Yes,
having to take over, having to go in, and they referred to them as kill the siphon.
yep,
You gotta
yep.
kill an underboss, which then unlocks the ability to siphon. And when you kill the siphon, you basically unlock the neighborhood, and then you take back the neighborhood, which is
Take
kind of
back
dope.
neighborhood. Yeah,
Right, you know what I mean? Like that whole idea of like outside of you working on, and we don't know if that necessarily is working towards the main quest line. So we don't know if is that what's required. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're not sure yet. Like, oh, is taking back the neighborhoods part of like the main quest line, or is that just something that you're going to be progressively doing while you're
this
playing?
skill tree. Woo,
Yeah, this like right here where they show like, oh, let me launch
skill
up my
tree. Yeah.
teammate. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Another thing I'm interested in is I don't know I forgot what they call it in this, but like the dungeons, the raids, or whatever you call
Yeah,
them, like
I
they
mean,
have that in this
yeah,
game.
yeah, I put it like you know, it's funny in my notes. I put like strikes, like that whole idea we were
Yes.
showing before, and I'll go back to it real quick. When they were going and taking out the heart, this is what they were talking about. It's like, oh, we got to go take out, the heart. It's right over here. This kind of felt to me a little strike-ish. A nest. This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is a nest that you kind of have vampire nests
That's
that you
what
have
it
to
is.
go
Nest.
take out.
Yeah.
So this felt kind of dungeonish slash strike-ish difficulty. We don't know what it's going to be on. I'm assuming because a lot of this game, as we see here, is focused on gear level, gear score. It's looking at. I'm hoping the enemy scale with difficulty. I mean, I don't see numbers like I
It
don't see
seems like that
levels
type of
above
game.
them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I
Yeah,
said it
like
seems like that type of game, but you're right. There's
that's
no
what I
like
mean. I don't see like I see the
numbers
numbers
above the
there.
head.
Like when I see this, when you open up a chest, and I'm gonna pause it, and I see here level 16, and I see here like a gear score and like a defense, maybe a rating, how much health increase, like what this mean, like you know what I mean, what it sells for down here, 46 gold, whatever, if you don't want to use
Look at
it.
the attributes
The-
of that. Consumes medical supplies to stagger enemies with an 8. Oh my god,
right,
I
and
have so
then
much fun with this
And
game.
then if we're looking at from a stat perspective, it looks like there's 5 rarities. You know what I mean?
Yep.
From the
Yep.
whatever that is, gray or whatever, maybe a green, maybe a blue, and then to I'm assuming either purple and then like an exotic, like so it's like, but once again, I didn't see any like levels above the enemies to be like, okay, these guys are level 15, these guys are level 16, but they could just be hiding that back until the game comes out, like you know what I mean? Maybe they just don't want to
Mm.
show us that yet because maybe it is that way. Like certain areas or certain levels that you go into, you're gonna have to be like a certain level to kind of get into them, or you're just gonna do less damage. Like you know what I mean? Like you
This,
could go
this
to an
speaks to
area.
my this speaks to my building abilities, like what kind of build I
Yeah.
want to go into with this map.
Yeah.
Like that speaks to that, and it seems like it's fluid enough for depending on the mission you're gonna go for, you can change up the build and go, okay, so this boss that we're gonna go after, or this town we're going into, this block, this neighborhood, it's gonna have these types of, like Destiny is gonna have
Uh
this
huh.
this sort of element around them. So I can't use holy water. I need to use a stake, like
Yes.
shit like that,
I need to get up
and
close. I need to have a melee. I need to be able. I need to
yes,
have the right type of melee to go in because this is what's going to be most effective against this type
correct.
of enemy. Exactly. And there's
Yeah.
going to be different ways of that. And also too, if you're kind of just solo grinding out, depending on the class that you're playing, like the character that you're playing, how you interact, because how you interact with one character and their abilities versus another character and their abilities, like it changes your playstyle all around. You have to play differently. Yeah, there's one character that could go invisible. There's probably another character that's like a tank. There's another character that could use what looks like these abilities and magics to get to different types of places and stuff. But that same ability that just created, that little elevator thing, also has this little shield kind of breaking, thing
Yes.
going on. So there's both maybe
That's very
defensive
Doctor
and
Who.
offensive. Right, exactly. You're like
Yeah.
over here casting spells and everything, you know?
This part right here, like the team killing. Oh man, that like the fact that they had the whole team just shoot it, concentrate on that one enemy.
Yeah.
That's fun, man. It does have, Timber saying Destiny 2 intensified. It does have the Destiny element, like the vibe to it. As far as not the world, but like as far as the class builds that you're gonna
Yeah.
make, and how you attack, like what Logic said with the strikes, and you go into the heart of the place, and like I'm assuming that by destroying that heart, it lessens the defense, or it lessens the spawning of these monsters, or it lets you take over things. It's just, you may get great weapons out of it, just doing those kind of strike. Well, I keep calling it strike, but just doing those type of missions where you
Mm-hmm.
defeat the heart, the zone, the heart of the whole thing. You may get like high, like gold, or different rarity weapons of something you already have. One shot kills type stuff. I don't know, but it just looks. It looks. Look, man, I came for Redfall, and I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, no,
I'm just not.
yeah, I mean, I'm pausing on some of these screens right now here where they're showing like the different skill trees for the different characters and stuff. This is the guy I think that puts down like that little light, the ultraviolet
Yeah,
light, and
the
then like just seeing
one. Yes.
upgraded. Yeah, then it says
Hmm.
here, black light stays active even longer. The radius of the black light effects is further increased. When black light expires, it violently explodes, shattering petrified vampires. Like, and there's going to be different status, and then that's also where okay, I'm going to say it again. Every time I say Destiny, take a shot if you're legal, and you can take a shot.
It's
If you
illegal.
can't, yeah, if you're legal, if you can, drink responsibly. but you know, it's kind of like, oh, they have like this status ailment on them. If the vampire's petrified, if they're so, how do you make a vampire petrified? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what causes the vampire to be petrified? It's a debuff. There's going to
So
be a lot
the
of buffs and
weak points.
debuffs.
They all got the
Yeah,
different weak points and stuff. Yeah.
you know. So, and then this is it right here that they showed. Yeah, it's pretty right. And then and almost like so, and I'm assuming that's almost what the petrified is. So it's like, here, I put that down, boom, I
How
cast
smooth is
it,
the animation? Oh my god!
pause,
Look at that! Boom.
and then look, and then they can't, and then you like stun lock them essentially. You're like
Hmm.
stun locking them to the point where they're like they almost look like they're frozen over.
Yeah, they're petrified. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then here,
Yep.
just showing the different weapons here. This was dope too, where they were breaking
Look
it
at
down.
look at the details of that gun. Oh my god!
Yeah, just a bunch of different weapons. And here's two. You know, they have the shotgun right here, nice little engraved 45. And then they have, you know, guns that are realistic, like ones that are going to be like that. They look, and then other ones that look like they came out of like a Borderlands case. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and then that's where the Borderlands Part 2 comes in as well. Because I know I'm mentioning Destiny a lot, but this could be more so like Borderlands, maybe than Destiny to a certain extent as well, too.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
would be cool if there's different variations of these weapons. I know the customization is here where you're putting different stakes on the end of the weapons. Because I think they go and show
I'm
that.
wondering if you can do that. Like if you can literally customize your
Like, well,
weapon
look,
to, or are these just drops that come
no, I
pre-made
think
already
these are
like
cut.
this?
I'm pretty sure these are the customizations because this is like
This
where they're going into
fucking
it here.
my
Yeah, even like the DMR, like
that was,
yeah. So here's like the street sweeper shotgun kind of thing. This looks insane. This is crazy. This looks like a military. It's
sniper.
got the little scratches on here too, like so it's like to mark the kills. I'm sure that's not real,
Mm.
but that's pretty dope actually. Like a suppressed sniper that looks pretty milled out. You know, obviously
Mm-hmm.
from long range. But this right here, like the foregrip
That
is like
part,
a
man.
bone. This is crazy.
Yeah,
The red,
yeah.
like
It's a survival thing. It's like it's almost like these vampires they're killing. They're using the bones from it and
yeah,
making like I don't, it's just like
to craft.
oh, yeah, it's a craft. There you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
right here.
Oh, there you go. Right
Here's
here.
an M. Yeah,
Mods.
here's an M16. They call it the Morgan burst fire assault rifle. And then they had here. I just want to back out, and then adding this different stakes. Unlock 29 out of 29, obviously, because you know devs.
Bowie and yeah. Look
Yeah.
at these stakes though, man. Jesus Christ.
Now this could just be a customization thing, like as you go through and you just unlock different ones, and maybe that they don't. You know, they all do the same. They all do the same thing. They just look different. Like this one's
Yeah.
literally a guitar head, like the
Yes,
head of a
yeah,
guitar.
yeah, and
and the
they
neck.
cut off. They made it pointy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the neck is broken off and it's just sharpened at the end. Like
Oh,
that's insane. That's crazy.
that's what I'm saying. The amount of creativity and
Yeah,
details
look, they
that go
showed
into
it
these
here.
guns. Look at this.
Here, this one here. Here's the different stakes. That looks crazy. That's clean. And then
That's
there it
clean.
is. And then just going in and doing those quick, melee kills. And here the different.
And then the map. Bring up the map.
Yep, burial
Aerial
points.
points. There's definitely going to be layers to this game. Like it's not just
Yeah,
a simple point A to point B game. It's gonna be some time put into this game.
yeah, man. And it all just look cool. I'm just glad they did this deep of a dive, with the game as well. And obviously we got the date too. I mean that was also the biggest thing as well. And not far off at all. I mean game's coming out
And
beginning.
not far off, man.
Yeah, dude, it's coming out
right on
May
the corner.
2nd. It's wild to think about.
I mean, we're already in February next week. This coming week in
That's what I'm
February.
saying. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're pretty much 4 months out from that. So not even technically 3 full months if you think about February, March, April. You know what I mean? Like we're three
Yeah.
full months away from it. So
And it's not like we got nothing between here and then. Man, gone are those days that we had nothing in the beginning of the year. Remember that? Remember those days?
you
Remember
mean
those
like
years that as
yeah.
a gamer we had nothing from January to like the summertime? Like it just be bone dry. We get maybe one game in March, like a Ubisoft game in March, or
Yeah.
some sports title like baseball. Like that's all we used to get. And then
Yeah.
the summer going forward is when we got games. Those days are long gone, man. Because one thing this showcase, or I wouldn't say showcase, one thing this show did highlight for me is it feels like they're starting to hit their stride with dropping a game a month. Because in January we got Hi-Fi, right? Surprise drop. February, I don't think we have anything that I can think of. Then we got March. What's in March again? We're probably gonna get Ghostwire.
Yeah.
in
I mean,
March.
technically, we had GoldenEye as well too, if we really want to count that.
GoldenEye.
Like,
That,
there's always,
yeah.
even if there's not like the big, and then, I mean, and that's the conversation too, because I know there's more bigger titles coming out this year than obviously last year. Just more games are
Mhm.
ready, right? Especially this one. You know, this one got pushed back, so to 2023. This was supposed to come out in 2022, but this looks like this. You know, this game definitely looks ready to go. I mean, it probably looks. The game probably is ready to go. It's just a matter of they know, like, hey, we're not going to drop this until this
Yeah,
time.
I
Like,
think
you know
I
what I
think right
mean?
now they're in the marketing phase of it. Like, how
Yeah,
do we like let's start marketing this so that people can actually buy it and play it and get the
absolutely.
Game Pass and all that stuff. Like, that's where they're at with this game. It looks ready to go. It's that conversation you had before where it's like with so many games that it's going to be on the Xbox or these studios.
Yeah.
Is that going to be an issue when you drop two games in the same month? And I think this kind of answered that. I don't think we're ever going to get two of their games coming out the same month unless it's like a smaller title versus bigger title type stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna get that, and I think the pacing is right. For me, the show highlighted the promise of the 12th month they gave us last year.
Yeah.
This is a highlight. This is a compliment to that. Like, this is like we're gonna get another show like this maybe in a couple of more months before the big show, the big summer showcase, the E3 stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna get another one of these. And I think they already mentioned, I think they came out and said that the summer showcases are literally going to be for them to talk about the next 12 months.
Right. And
I'm,
before
I'm with that.
E3, but we said this 12, we said this at the last E3. If they do that once a year and say, here's the next 12, we're good with that.
Super Bowl.
And then have these in betweens where they're showing you highlights and stuff like this that are the games that are ready to go. Because once
I love
again,
it.
they show here like this wasn't just done. This production, it didn't feel like it was just done overnight. It definitely feels like they took their time to get this
Some thought that it
presentation
was
ready.
that way, but I don't think
I
this
don't
was
think so.
nothing. This wasn't thrown like one of this is. Some
No.
people thought this was in response to where were you guys at with the Jeff Keighley award show? Like, why were you there? This is why they weren't
This
there.
is
They
why
were
they
doing their
weren't
own
there,
thing.
man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
You know, it's you don't have to be there. I mean, I understand there was a lot of eyes on that show, but I think this would have been overly looked or glanced over if it would have came out during the show. Like, I mean, maybe at one point they thought Hi-Fi was going to be
get
the
away
surprise
right.
drop at the award show. Maybe they thought that, but it's like, no, let's do our own.
You can't get away. You can't get away with 44 minutes of presentation though. When it's not your own. Like, you're not the ones that saying like it's not your thing.
It's not your platform. It's
right.
not. Like, I get it. There was a 1,000 million eyes on the show. I get all that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Xbox has an image they got to take care of, an image issue they've been having for years now, where people don't know what Xbox is about when it comes to titles. Doing this going forward would be perfect. This highlights the games that are coming out that are ready to show off. The developers talking passionate about it. Do this on a quarterly basis, leading up to the big Super Bowl show of the E3. Then you blow up the lid on the next 12 months for that, and you so on and so forth. I feel like Xbox is going to hit this stride with this. This was perfect, well received. Fans has been asking this for a while. Nintendo's done it. Sony has been doing it for a couple of years now.
Yep.
I love this format. It's perfect. It separates you from the are you what kind of machine are you? What kind of box am I getting into? What kind of console? It separates that. This tells me, oh shit, if I like Elden Rings or Elder Scrolls, I got this whole library of things June 20th, just through Game Pass. Oh, I like Minecraft Legends. I love the dungeons and I want to play this. You got that on the 18th. In May, Redfall, the big one for us. That coming out in May. Then you got coming with a G looking like a 6, 2023, as you can see on that splash. That's coming soon. We're probably going to get a date on that very soon. And then you got Play Today, Hi-Fi Rush. That dropped. Now, don't expect this. I tell the fans of Xbox, do not expect a drop like this every single show. Please do not expect that. It's not going to happen.
No.
This title was being created since 2017. So this was something that was like, it's ready to go. Let's give them something. Let's give them something. The Xbox community deserves this. Let's give it to them. And they dropped it.
Yeah.
What's up, BMG? Or excuse me, Bald Man Gamer.
Damn. I had to put them out there like that. Yeah, no, and then online I saw somebody post like this. They just put the little lines between the 6, the 20, 23, and then so June 20th, 2023. Which that I don't think it's stepping on any toes if Forza comes out the same day as the expansion for ESO. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that.
Yeah, I don't think that would be stepping because ESO's been out for years. So
I think sometime in like March, honestly, because I don't know if it's going to be February, but I think probably March is probably when we're gonna get the standalone Starfield because that's another thing. Starfield's getting their own showcase.
I'll go on a limb. I'll go on a limb and say in March we're gonna get a Starfield show.
Yeah, I say
Deep
March
dive.
is good. I mean, it could happen February. That's fine, but I feel like March seems like the good month to give us the deep dive into it, and then to just be like, yo, game's coming out, and then they'll rock everybody's world and be like, yo,
You
by
know
the
what?
way,
You're right.
yeah,
You're
and
right.
then
February, because there's no games dropping in February in this format right here. There's nothing in February, so that'd be the month for Starfield to be talked
you
about.
know,
I
what a
think,
big, you know what a big fucking crazy thing would be? They do the Starfield reveal like in February, like let's just say like halfway through the month, and then be like, oh, by the way, it comes out March.
yeah, yeah,
You know how
yeah.
wild, how wild that would be? Because that's
That
another
will
thing
that
too.
will
Remember,
break
you
the
got
internet,
pushed
man.
back, but it's like because they obviously want to push it. They don't want it to be too close to Redfall. I don't think so. They're not gonna. I don't think they'll release it like within the same month as
No.
Redfall.
Redfall deserves its own its
I
own
feel
space,
like
its
they
own
want to get
time.
it out before. And personally, I feel like they want to get it out before E3. I feel like they want it. I think they really do want to get it out before E3. So I feel like
Yeah,
sometime
definitely.
between now and June, like when E3 is going down, I feel like Starfield should be coming out.
I
They
think
just
I think Starfield has it had its E3 moment. It came and went, and I don't think they'll do that for this E3. I think that game. I'm with you. I think that game will drop before it will drop before E3, just so they can focus E3 on the next 12.
yeah.
I see that because if you put Starfield back on the E3, now we're we're taking the attention away from whatever the next 12 month is. Kinda, like you're focusing on that. I think February, since there's nothing dropping like out of this list, there's nothing dropping in February. It's a month to talk about Starfield, and when that showcase happens or that deep dive happens, and then a date.
Yeah.
I honestly think that, and they can literally do a 2-for-1 on that one. Starfield already says it's gonna be by itself. I could say Forza because I haven't dropped the date on that either, but yeah, I see that. I mean, I see it. Starfield being, they already said it. Out of respect to that game, it's going to have its own thing. It is a flagship game. It is
Yes.
going to be a flagship game for
Yeah.
Xbox. So,
And I think, and it's gonna have,
own
like I
thing.
said, it's gonna have its own direct, pretty much. You know, they should call it literally Xbox Development Direct, and it literally should just be Starfield. Like that's it, and I feel like that's where it's gonna be. We'll get the full, you know, we're gonna get more than what they showed us, obviously there. Hopefully, you know, they've had since they've had like the extra time to work on it and stuff. It should be closer to more of the finished product that they were hoping to see out of them. You know what I mean?
What Redfall did, exactly what
Yeah.
Redfall did. That looked like a finished product, and all it looks like from this point forward is getting the marketing right.
Yes.
That's all it looks like now. They can literally press the button right now and say play it, but they're not because the marketing. I think they're at that point right now with that game. The marketing has to be right. And I think with Starfield, they're gonna get to that point where it's like it's done. That's it. We no more delays.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna show it off, and it's coming. Here's the date.
Yeah.
That's it.
And even like what BMG just said in the chat too, I think we're going to see a full Starfield show with the Shadow Drop same day. I think that would be fucking insane, but I also
That
could
will
see.
be insane.
I think that would be. I think that would be nuts, and I also think that would be so fucking cool. Like if literally they said, "Oh, by the way, here's the date," and they do that shit like super early, or they do like a late show and be like, "Oh, by the way, guys, you get to play this tonight at 12 o'clock." Like whatever the fuck, like whatever they want to do, however they want to surprise us and just blow everybody's mind, and literally just be like, "Yo, by the way, here's the game."
Yeah, and they've proven that with this developers director, they are willing to do something like that. And
yeah,
if they do that with Star, it doesn't even have to be same day of the show. It could be, oh, and by the way, it'll be ready this Friday.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's this Friday. It's this. Ready. That's why I feel like we'll get it sometime within the next few weeks. And then as far as like the showcase for Starfield, and then I definitely see them be putting in March, because you also have to remember too, other games that they have, their deals that they have coming through that they announced last year, like for March. Like March, we have. I mean, not to say that. I mean, Guilty Gear, like there's shit coming out, like Guilty Gear, we're getting Guilty Gear Strive. Like we're still getting launches, even if you're not seeing the quote unquote big AAA releases, first party stuff that deals that they've already worked on are coming to fruition now. We're getting to that point now where we're going to get consistent releases through Game Pass of big titles that haven't been available yet on the platform, or are available and just not on Game Pass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so we're getting to that point now where we're just going to have a lot of games, and we already have a lot of games to play.
Xbox is comfortable with doing these drops like that because they did it with Halo. They did. Remember Halo, the multiplayer? They were like, by the way, the multiplayer is ready now. Go play it.
So here it is. The multiplayer is ready now. So here it is.
Yeah, and then the campaign comes out on a different day. They've shown they're comfortable with this kind of format. So I don't know. And then I know Bold Man Gamer is saying in the chats, CD Keys has shown a placeholder date.
I did see that.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
So it could happen. I mean, again, there's nothing in February happening as far as I can tell with this direct show they did. As far as games dropping in February, I can see a February show happening and them saying, "Hey, March" or something like that.
And then also remember what they wanted to do 11/11/22 as the previous date, right?
Yes.
Because that so like if we want to really play on dates and stuff like that, we still want to get it out there. 3-2-3-2-3, like you know what I mean? Like the repetitive dates like that. There, that speaks to
it. It reads. I forgot the name of those things, but it reads the same both like forward and backwards.
Yeah. 3-2, yeah, 3-2,
and then you read it backwards.
Yeah, 3-2-3-2-3. Actually, that's exactly what it is. It's what is it? Anagram, technically.
Anagram. There you go.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see it. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a placeholder and everything, but why would they use a placeholder if they don't? I mean, why would you risk?
But that's normally how shit gets leaked anyway, because that's CD keys. Like you think, you know what I mean? Like they're probably like,
oh, they gotta prepare for shit.
Yeah, somehow they saw a fucking leaked document somewhere, and they're like, we don't give a fuck about we don't care about branding or shit.
These companies, these type of websites are privy to the information because they gotta get their business right. You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're like, I don't care what.
I don't care what Microsoft is doing. Like, yo,
2023, it's it. Like, we gotta get it ready. Keys are gonna be ready. So they got to get that traffic into the
website. It's all about the clicks.
Into the website.
Yeah,
it's about the clicks. So yeah, definitely. I'm excited, man. Let's wrap it up with the. What do you think about the show then? If we are putting grade, we don't do that.
No, I'm not going to do grading, but just overall, I think the show is a big success.
Going forward, this is what they should stick to.
I don't need it every month, but when you're ready to show us the games that you have coming out, this is the format that I would like to see continue. 100%.
I agree. I like
100%.
it. I like it on a quarterly, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, quarterly. I think every 3 months. I don't think that's I don't think that's asking for a lot personally, because you still can. Because even though you
so long they got the game to show off.
It's so long as if they have the game to show off. And remember, as we've seen, you still don't have to fucking give a date for something, even if you show it off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean just because you're showing it in a developer, just because you're showing it in a developer direct, as they're naming it, right? Doesn't mean you have to give the date for it. The date is whatever the fuck you say the date is. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you can't show us what you're working on.
These directs could also be games like the rumored Gears collection.
Exactly.
It could be that. It doesn't have to be like.
Here's an extra prize. We remastered fucking Gears. Like, oh my god. Like, you know what I mean? And then we just wait, man. Hold the fuck. Stop the presses. What the fuck? What did you do?
Stop the presses. That could be sort of its own. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you do?
What you did? What you did? An MCC 4 Gears?
Yeah.
GCC? What's going on here?
Yeah. GCC. Yeah. Gears collection. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, it was good. I definitely like the format. I'm looking forward to playing the games that are on there. And I look forward to see what else they got coming on this year as well too, man.
Yeah, I like it. It was a good show. It answered a lot of questions for me. I got to see what I wanted to see. We got a good surprise drop out of it with Hi-Fi, which I'll be playing until I get it's just good until I finish it and even more. I'm not sure if it has New Game Plus or not, how that works. There's elements in the game where I'm like, I can't get to this door yet.
Chivos, you know what I mean? You gotta get to Chivos.
Well, it seems like they have an end game, New Game Plus, because there's areas I cannot get into yet. I can't even access it. Like, even the character goes, well, we'll probably come to it later.
There's a lot of. I was gonna say there's a lot of doors and stuff that it seems like you can't get into and everything. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like I think the Chai, your guy, your character, your main guy, he even makes a joke out of it where he goes, "Oh, this must be some of that DLC stuff," and then the chick comes out and goes, DLC, we don't do that over here. I'm like, shit, like, okay.
Yeah, it's like fourth wall kind of stuff that they do.
Yeah. They poke at themselves, so that's pretty good. So,
yep.
But I got what I wanted out of this show. It was a good show. Good pacing, good timing. 40 plus minutes was the perfect amount of time. It set up everything I wanted to see. And then going forward, go it every quarter, like every 3 or 4 months. And it doesn't have to be a show like this. Like we said, it could be Gears. It could be what's coming new for Halo. Whatever that is. Because remember, we still got certain Infinity.
And one of these shows, too, could be lined up with E3. Like, you could do the E3 12-month plan, and then, like, during E3 week, boom, developer direct. Like, fuck you. We don't even need to be like, you know what I mean? You could do a developer direct during E3. It just doesn't have to be like do your showcase and then be like, yo, here's the direct for all the. So you see how some of these games, here's the in-depth look at the games that we possibly talked about or what's coming and stuff. 100%, because like you said, if every 3 months doesn't work, 3, 6, 9, 12, like, you know what I mean, 12 months in a year, you want to work 4 months out, 4, 8, 12, you could do that however it lines up for you, whatever you can make work. I just think like this format's a really good vehicle to show off what you have going on and stuff.
It complements the big show. It does. It really
Yes.
does. Like the big
Yes.
12-month show, it complements that perfectly. And I can see, I do definitely see another one before E3. At least one more before E3.
Yeah,
If
I
they
agree.
keep like a 3-month
Yeah.
format kind of thing, I see another one before E3. Yeah, man. So it was a great show. I enjoyed it as an Xbox fan. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted to see. I'm glad they nailed it. I'm glad they hit they hit every note that they needed to, and it answered a lot of questions for a lot of the fans of the Xbox console. Everybody else has been doing it in this type of format, and it's successful. And I'm glad that Xbox adapted to it.
Yes.
But other than that, man, anything else to add to the show? Or I keep saying showcase, but the direct.
No, man. That was it. Like I said, positive for me all the way around. For sure. And I'm just excited to play the games that they were showing off in.
Nice. All right, then. I guess that's episode 74.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I get ready to go see the Niners.
Bro, I was gonna
play,
say, and we got this shit under 2 hours too. I got
Tell
you.
me about it.
I got you in time
Tell
to
me
go
about it.
watch the Niners.
get
What kind of
my-
friend? What
my
kind of
son-
friend am I? Come on, seriously.
My son's right over my shoulder, like, hurry the hell up, hurry the hell up.
Yeah. No, it's
Niners, they
listen.
need us.
I got wings. I got my friend hit me up like, yo, when am I coming to get you?
My wife
Wings.
just went out for she was like, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight? I'm like, no, don't worry about dinner. Let's get like ordering some pizza, wings. We're good. We just have that for the day, and football's on. She goes, oh, football's on. That's right.
Yep.
I get to not see it. Good. I go somewhere else. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yep.
Me and Junior over there. So yeah, football's on. But man, I appreciate you guys joining in, tuning in, chatting up with us. This is episode 74. We do this every single week. Today was a special time at 1 p.m. because of a football game that's going on that's important to me. And I'm going to go watch that at 3 o'clock. But thank you guys for joining early. Next week we'll be back our scheduled time, 4 o'clock p.m. I think we'll do this 1 o'clock thing again for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I think
Or maybe later, like 2:30.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later, but we definitely, because the Super Bowl is I believe it's like a 6:30 start time. So, and there's a week break after for football, but we're just trying to, just to be cordial. I mean, it's not like, obviously we're going to watch it and stuff like that, but we just know a lot of people like to watch that shit and stuff. So we'll just get it out the way too. I really don't feel like competing with the NFL. Not that I ever think that we can compete with the NFL, but it's
or Rihanna.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
So it's like, it'll probably be an earlier start time for that too, but that's 2 weeks away. And then we'll see what the gaming world has for us this week in news and stuff. But yeah, just more gaming for me. I know more gaming for you, and we'll see what's up, man.
We'll do that. So that's episode 74. Next week, look forward to episode 75 and see what we got for the week to talk about. But man, again, I appreciate you guys. We're growing. I gained some subscribers this week. We gained that. Look at my shorts. I put a lot of those throughout the week. A lot of thought into that. I've been streaming a lot more lately. Call of Duty stuff. This week I did Hi-Fi. I streamed that. So anytime there's like something like, ooh, I like that, I want to stream that, I will stream it. I don't have a streaming schedule. I've said this before. I don't do streaming schedules. I might do it in the future.
Pay attention to socials. Don't worry about it. Just watch the socials.
Socials. I'm active on that damn Twitter. And then hit the bell, so in case you don't want to miss any of my videos, hit the bell. But I usually upload 1 or 2 videos a day in shorts.
Yep.
And it's pertaining to my gameplay and that kind of stuff. But thank you guys for coming in, showing the love and support. We are now 431 subscribers strong, and we're growing with the goal of 500 by the end of the year. We get that, and of course, the ultimate goal being the 1K. We want to get there. To just be proud of that moment. But 75,000 views is what I milestone this week, and the channel's birthday. Now I gotta clear something up before we go. I mentioned 3 years of making content on this channel. The channel's not 3 years old. The channel's a lot older than that.
No, since you've been going hardcore content, like creator, like 3 years.
In 3 years, and in those 3 years, I've gained 75,000 views.
Yes.
In 3 years, man, we did that, like through the podcast and the experiments we did throughout with the content
and the live streaming shorts,
the live streaming, the one-on-one I did back last year, that kind of stuff.
The different shows you were doing and stuff. Yeah,
so appreciate that you guys are here for that, to support us and do those things. But look forward to you guys. See you guys on Twitter. See you guys next week. And until next week, Logic, anything else?
No, that's it, brother.
Happy fucking gaming, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday.
Later.